CNU Tonight, a phenomenal little club within the city of Newport News, Virginia. A collection of charming people gathered together within a pocket of a wonderfully small school, CNU. College N University. Christopher Newport University. CNU Tonight is the premier sketch comedy club of this visually Greco-Roman inspired academic institution. This club writes, directs, and performs all of their works, showcasing a diverse and fun sense of humor to everyone that finds themselves at one of their shows. One word to describe CNU Tonight. Delightful. There are many moving parts that lead into a CNU Tonight show. Though their end goal is simple, to make you happy. Together, the members of the club seamlessly create a night full of laughter for everyone lucky enough to be there. I was one of the lucky ones. September 28th, 2018. My first time getting to experience a CNU Tonight performance. I found myself at their first show of the new school year. I was friends with the president of CNU Tonight at the time, Willow. She told me about a club that she was in that was doing a show soon. I thought that sounded fun, so me and a couple of friends made plans to come and support them. Their first show took place in the Black Box Theater, one of the venues CNU Tonight regularly performs in. We took our seats on the upper part of the venue and had a nice aerial view of the show. The lights dimmed, and the club took to the stage. It only took CNU Tonight a few minutes into their performance to draw me and my friends in. I knew I had to join. And then I did. My name is Jelo. It was that perfectly placed day that led me to where I am now, filming this love letter to CNU Tonight. A loosely structured collection of my sentiments and experiences at CNU Tonight is how I would describe this project. Like a patchwork mesh of funky crayon drawings trying to tell a story. After all this time, I still feel the need to try and give back as much as I can for this club. CNU Tonight has engraved such a special place in my soul, solidifying itself as the best memory that I made while at Christopher Newport University. I'm crafting this video with no plan in mind. I want to gush and praise all the workings and people that compose this club. I want to journal my personal experiences while attempting to capture what makes CNU Tonight magical. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just happy to be here. With the assortment of media found within CNU Tonight's online presence, the puzzle pieces can be put together to create a general timeline. CNU Tonight was founded in 1999. Information about the earliest era of the club is nowhere to be found. Memories from the oldest members may be what's left from this time period. Throughout the 2000s, many different students came into the club and performed together, much like they do now. Pieces of older CNU Tonight history can start to be unearthed from around this time frame. In 2014, CNU Tonight's official online accounts were created. From this point, sketches, shows, and pictures of the members were digitally preserved for all to see. The regular documentation of the club and the people a part of it began here. Some fun older pictures I found from their Facebook profile. The CNU Tonight logo from 2014, featuring their signature gold star and blue background. An expressive photo of the former director, Carter, in 2015. An old photo of the 2016 CNU Tonight president, Emily. And a 2017 Member Monday photo showcasing Brad. Here's a simplified timeline of CNU Tonight so far. In recent history, many more members found their way into this dynamic club and got to experience its distinct charm. This is the era I got to personally experience. I joined CNU Tonight in 2018. Willow was the president of CNU Tonight at the time. She was an outstanding leader, fantastic friend to all, and brought a great style of humor that made our shows extra fun. Willow inspired me as a person. She guided me onto a path where I could help nurture the future of the club. And in 2019, I had the honor of being president. In 2020, during my senior year at CNU, a pandemic made CNU Tonight have to adapt its avenues of presenting comedy. Even when the club was separated, CNU Tonight still created a lot of content, both digitally and in person. With their brilliant minds mixed together with their whimsical jokes, the club's collaborative efforts led to a consistent stream of extra crafty digital sketches, and even some animated sketches made entirely by the club members. CNU Tonight never ceases to amaze me. In 2021, Tyler became president. He brought his splendidly magic mind and pulled the aces up his sleeve to let the club continue its bloom, even when the pandemic restrictions were at a high. Later that year in 2021, Colin became president. His enjoyable energy and performing prowess allowed him to thrive in bringing in the new generation of CNU students into the club. And in the present, 2022, Thomas is currently the president of CNU Tonight. I know that he is leading the current era into something fantastic. As I look into the future, CNU Tonight seems to keep growing, and for good reason. After I graduated, I've been attending every CNU Tonight show that I could. Everyone, and I mean everyone, that I had the chance to watch perform and meet afterwards are unbelievably energetic and passionate about this club. They are history in the making. The beginnings of CNU Tonight are blurry, and the archives are incomplete. There are no easily accessible records about the origins of this club anywhere that I could find. I am deeply curious about how different CNU Tonight is compared to the past. I want to see the progression of humor throughout the years and find if there is a common spirit within the club that lives on through its cast members. Before my time at CNU Tonight, the accounts of the club were mostly told by word of mouth, passed on from old to new members through stories for generations to come. Historical pieces of CNU Tonight, such as sketches and photos of old cast members, started to become digitally preserved around 2014. Anything before that time has to be dug up, like if it was an archaeological site. Oh, I found dinosaur bones! Little bits of CNU Tonight's older past are scattered. For example, the prop closet that the club uses is fully stocked with items that the club utilizes all the time. A good majority of those props were simply always there by the time everyone in recent joined the club. There are even aged papers, advertisements, and folders of the old sketches, pre-2014, preserved in that prop closet. Those artifacts of a different time period had me curious about what the club was like when it was founded. Nothing in the prop closet that I know of has anything that goes back that far in time. So, I thought I'd do my best to try and document everything that I can about early CNU Tonight. Maybe even finding the original cast members that founded this club back in 1999. Luckily, I already have a good lead. This is Eric Gamby Gambardella. Gamby graduated from CNU in the early 2000s and is currently involved with the college ministry group InterVarsity at CNU. I talked to Gamby sometime in 2019. When I mentioned CNU Tonight to him, he told me that he knew some of the early members of the club. He even went to a couple of their first shows. So I sent him an email asking him if he remembers the names of the founding members of CNU Tonight. My goal is to try and find the people who are responsible for giving hundreds of students throughout the years a club to come together and make each other laugh. Hopefully Gamby responds. In the meantime, I'll work with what I can find about the history of CNU Tonight.
What are you doing?
Looking for my favorite star. Dating back to the mid-2000s, when YouTube was a fun little video sharing website, a handful of sketches from performances at the time were uploaded. The oldest series of videos I came across were from 2007, by a channel that goes by the name of Soy the Archangel. From there comes a significant gap between uploaded videos, from 2007 to 2009, up until 2014, when the official CNU Tonight YouTube channel was created. But, while looking around for sketches pre-2014, I came across a peculiar video that was uploaded in 2008. The video was titled, The Best of Molly Buckley, CNU Tonight, 2005 to 2006. Which means that this video compilation of a former CNU Tonight member is the oldest available footage of CNU Tonight performances on the internet. What makes this find even better is that this video and its channel links to where exactly Molly Buckley is now. So, I thought I'd contact Molly, much like I contacted Gamby. I sent her an email asking about what CNU Tonight was like when she was a member, to try and get a first-hand account of the zeitgeist of that time period. I think it would be awesome to hear from someone before all of our times, and preserve their words for anyone else who is curious about the early history of CNU Tonight. I also asked if she had any leads on the founder of the club, for good measure. Here's hoping. While I wait, I'll explore the world of old CNU Tonight sketches. After going through a lot of the old sketches, I believe that the lovable spirit of the club has not changed from the mid-2000s to now. Everyone in the old shows looks like they're having a blast performing, telling jokes and getting a roaring reaction out of the audience. That makes me unbelievably happy. If I were to guess, the club was founded on the principle that enjoying yourself and the people around you naturally leads to a great cast of members who share their energy and comedic synergy on stage. And from what I've seen, each member of CNU Tonight personifies that enthusiasm to make each other laugh perfectly. I've been thinking about Molly and Gamby, wondering what it was like for them to experience CNU Tonight back when they were students. And that had me wondering if sometime, 20 years from now, future CNU Tonight members will be curious about the club as it was during this era. With that in mind, I would like to share with you my experiences with this little college comedy club. I want to journal what made this club so unfathomably special to me. All the fun experiences, events, and relationships that fundamentally changed who I am. CNU Tonight is why I feel the desire to create this video, no matter how long it takes. I hope one day that this present account will be something future generations will be able to look back on positively. Night 1 of filming whatever this project is. I came here with a vision, 2:30 in the morning at CNU in the middle of September, hoping that whatever this happens to become, I will be happy with and proud to share with everyone that I know. August 2018, my junior year. The school semester started, and every club was advertising why you should join them. I was enticed by many, trying to find somewhere I could spend my evenings in. I was friends with a couple people in different clubs, and they gave me some fun recommendations. The aforementioned Willow advertised CNU Tonight to me for the first time. I went to a couple different club interest meetings, and CNU Tonight was one of the standouts. In the meeting, we read a lot of funny sketches, and I even had the chance to read a role from a few scripts. There was a lot of cool people with outgoing personalities that I got to meet. There was a guy wearing a funny hat, playing solitaire on his laptop, looking at you, Avery, and I thought that was hilarious. Definitely one of the best interest meetings I have ever attended for any club. So naturally, I did not go to another CNU Tonight club meeting. Not because I lost interest, but because I was scared that I would not be a quality member of the club. When I went to that first interest meeting, I was awed by the members and how they all just sounded so naturally comedic. I was enjoying myself the entire time, and I really thought I'd be better suited as an audience member. Some days passed by and I ended up in the hospital. I was in the emergency room for a little bit. Luckily, I was discharged early in the morning, 3 a.m. on September 28th. Just in time to see CNU Tonight's first show later in the evening. I went to their performance and had the time of my life. I had a change of heart. I knew I wanted to be on stage with those cast members.
Hey! Is this the cab movie night?
Where's the free popcorn?
Eggman!
And the bus!
Hey guys.
I became an official member of CNU Tonight with my first show on November 30th, 2018. One of the best decisions of my life. I'd like to share with you what made CNU Tonight as a whole such an amazing place to be. I want to talk about what made this club my favorite part about university. I was an incredibly nervous person when I started going to CNU Tonight meetings. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I had no experience in comedy or performing whatsoever. For my first ever meeting, I even had my friend Tim come sit with me to be my comfort person. But CNU Tonight is naturally a welcoming and sincere club. I was able to be myself just by being around everyone. The people in the club are always so friendly with one another. So many jokes and ideas bounce between all the comedians in the room, making it a fun little garden where the flowers of laughter can bloom. CNU Tonight makes it a point where you don't need any experience whatsoever to be a part of the club. You can just join without ever having to worry about auditioning for anything. There is always a spot for you in the club. And that's how they initially drew me in. The sheer amount of entertaining content that they create is incredible. Both on stage and on screen, the works that come out of this club are some of my favorite things to watch. The minds of the individual members and the teamwork of the club lets them flourish in making their visions come to life. Sketches are what's most well known about CNU Tonight. It's what the audience sees and what the club makes in-jokes about. With the immense diversity of comedy styles and influences of the members, it's difficult to pinpoint what exactly a typical CNU Tonight sketch is.
One word to describe CNU Tonight's sketches. Vivacious.
Sketches are made to be fun for anyone to watch. There is always something enjoyable for everyone. All sorts of jokes and flavors of humor make CNU Tonight performances a delicacy. CNU Tonight specializes in making sketches that are hilarious for both the audience and the people who are in the club. What starts out as an inside joke can be turned into an outside joke. The club loves getting to share their experiences and turning it into a comedic art piece. There are hours upon hours of content made entirely by this lovely club. CNU Tonight is a goldmine of entertainment, and a lot of these sketches often dance around in my mind and make me smile all the time. CNU Tonight shows starts off with fun cold open sketches, like The Show is About to Begin, My Heart Soars, and House of Wolves. And you have sketches that swim in absurdity, like Barnacle Bill and the Cow Tongue, The Card Game Sketch, and Pickled Anus.
Did you just say pickled anus?
You also have sketches that put the members in fun positions, like Questionable Yoga, Pet License, and Manly Maids. There are even sketches based on true stories, like Swallowing Pills, The Pete Davidson Effect, and Fuck That Bitch, This is Russia. Commitment goes into CNU Tonight sketches. The performers go all in and do whatever they can for the art of performing. You can find them drinking ranch dressing in The Ranch Dressing Society, or drinking barbecue sauce in Barbecue Sauce Club. You can even find the director of the time, Raleigh, getting annihilated by a pie. This explosive pastry caused us to clean up the stage before we could move on to the next sketch. Pretty much every sketch showcases the fun that the people are having on stage. You can tell the actors are doing their best not to smile and laugh at their own jokes. It's adorable. You have sketches like Magic on Magic Violence, Crimes Against Humanity,
Hello?
We Accidentally Made a Cult, and so many more where you know the people on stage are having a blast performing. CNU Tonight shows end with fantastical, bombastic closing sketches that top off the night on a perfect note. Sketches like Devil's Cash Grab, Café de Farce, and my personal favorite, The Trial of the Odor Grinch. And I haven't even dived into digital sketches yet. Digital sketches are filmed and edited sketches that are a core part of CNU Tonight shows. These sketches are entirely homemade, yet they're cinematic masterpieces. Look at Hoodlum Milkshakes, Tonight's the Night, and The Legend of the Newport Master. 3 of the most legendary and revered pieces ever made in the club. Digitals are described as perfected CNU Tonight sketches, as camera shots and delivery of the lines can be redone as much as needed. Scripts made to be digitals tend to be ambitious, employing multiple scenes and settings, alongside jokes that are enhanced with video editing. The hardest part about filming digitals is that you have to fight the urge to laugh when you have to act in front of a camera. There are so many deleted takes with the members messing up because they laugh halfway through their lines. And when one person starts laughing, everyone joins in too. It's moments like those that make filming the digitals so fun. The production of these sketches are some of the best moments someone can have at CNU Tonight. Filming around campus, traveling to different places, and just hanging out with the people you're working with is super nice. The creative juices get flowing, memories are made, and the day of filming goes splendidly. Story time! One of my favorite memories ever was from the production of the sketch, From Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree. This was the second digital sketch I made. It was a direct sequel to my first digital sketch, Death Cab for Cutie. For context, my first digital sketch, Death Cab for Cutie, was supposed to be filmed at Cracker Barrel. On the day of filming Death Cab for Cutie, I called the local Cracker Barrel to see if we could film there. They said we weren't allowed to, and that made us sad. But we improvised and made our own Cracker Barrel to film at. Death Cab for Cutie turned out to be beautiful in every way, and so much more. It was the first digital sketch I wrote, and I was extremely happy with how it turned out. So of course, I wanted to make its sequel, From Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree, even better. I learned from the Cracker Barrel incident during the production of Death Cab for Cutie, and I knew what I had to do. So, for the day of filming this sequel, I had an idea. An idea to actually record at Bed Bath & Beyond. That idea was to not tell Bed Bath & Beyond that we were going to film inside their store. And everyone who was a part of that sketch went along with it. We piled up into a couple cars, drove to Bed Bath & Beyond, and made our way inside. We were a bunch of hooligans ready to politely film the scenes in the sketch. And the filming went great! For the first 25 minutes. We were doing our best to be sneaky and to not disturb any customers or staff. But we all knew the employees were silently questioning what the heck we were doing. Messing with pillows, shampoo bottles, umbrellas, and a camera. The manager of the Bed Bath & Beyond told us to leave. And we did. The jig was up. Luckily, we captured enough footage to make the sketch still work. So we were feeling pretty good. We packed our bags and left the store. But because we were a bunch of delinquents, we also filmed our experience getting kicked out of Bed Bath & Beyond. I remember it fondly. We filmed ourselves in that parking lot, laughing together hand in hand. We threw up our arms and shouted, "We got kicked out of Bed Bath & Beyond!" It was glorious. Capturing that moment on video made getting kicked out so worth it. Then, disaster struck. As we were retrieving the footage to edit the sketch, it appeared that the camera we used was missing the Bed Bath & Beyond footage. All our hard work and loitering was lost. It was a bit sad to lose footage for this sketch. And there was no way we would be able to enter that Bed Bath & Beyond again as a group. So we cut our losses and decided the sketch would be filmed at CNU, much like Death Cab for Cutie. But at least we had the footage of us getting kicked out of Bed Bath & Beyond to look back and commemorate on. I wish. We lost that too. We lost the footage, proving that we lost the footage. The entirety of the misadventures in Bed Bath & Beyond was a fever dream that no one can prove actually happened. There are a few Snapchat pictures taken during this event, shown earlier. And there is also one Snapchat video of this occurrence on somebody's phone. But I'm afraid that this video evidence is likely lost too. The moral of the story is, being a goon in Bed Bath & Beyond will curse you for life. Luckily, From Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree was able to be refilmed on CNU's campus, and the digital lives on in CNU Tonight's YouTube page. Though, this sketch is forever shrouded in mystery for those who know of its backstory. But in the words of every CNU Tonight director, we'll fix it in post. Transition noise. With sketches comes the territory of lore. Sketches of all sorts tell a story, and some stories directly connect with one another. Characters from one sketch may appear in another, bringing multiple universes together. CNU Tonight is everything the Marvel Cinematic Universe strives to be. The great part about sketches with deep lore is that they're just as enjoyable as any other sketch.
That's a specialty of the club.
They can add to the ever-growing CNU Tonight cinematic universe, while making the sketch extremely fun to watch. Knowing any of the lore is a cherry on top. There are connections all over the CNU TCU. The lore is expansive, comical, and almost nonsensical. But it all comes together into a unifying story that would literally explode the minds of anyone who tries to understand it. Just a couple of examples of some lore. This character, Chris, from the digital sketches Death Cab for Cutie and From Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree, is the origin story of this character, Ace Camaro, in The Legend of the Newport Master. This character, from Stay in Your Lane, is the same dead brother in Chap with Wings. This spawns medium-sized Johnny to undergo many size changes throughout his lifespan. The Masked Magician was a rejected hero to fight Thanos in Infinity War Slam Jam. Mark Zuckerberg was the final boss in the Sauce trilogy. This is actually Jesus Christ. The Black Milkshake, this adobo, and this Uno reverse card are all ancient superweapons. Gurgroy. If you are lost in the lore of sketches in CNU Tonight, that's how it should be.
One word to describe CNU Tonight lore. Perplexing.
Absolutely nothing in the lore was retconned. Everything was planned from the start, whether we knew it or not. Fate guided our hands to write these sketches to create a unified story.
I had to. It was my destiny.
The stories behind the conception and creation of each sketch makes its final product extra fun to watch. The absurdity in artistry within the minds of the club members is something to behold. I wish I could shout out every sketch that I had the pleasure of getting to see or be a part of. So I'm going to scroll through the entirety of CNU Tonight's YouTube channel and say they're all cool as heck. In the upcoming weeks before a show, club meetings become rehearsals. The members come together to slowly evolve into the characters that they're playing. For better or for worse. The laughs, the jokes, the specific lines everybody quotes. That's what makes rehearsals so fun. Getting to watch the sketches play out in front of you and seeing everyone progressively memorize their lines in preparation for the final product was the perfect way to spend my nights. On the day of a show, the club also meets for an extensive dress rehearsal in preparation for that show. This is where everyone starts to go all out and get ready to showcase their talents to the people that walk through the venue doors. When everybody's having a good time, the environment can be joyfully chaotic. The directors work hard to keep rehearsals as streamlined as possible, but within the chaos comes extra jokes and stage directions that make it into a show that weren't originally in a script. I'd like to give a big shout out to the directors and the sketch writers for letting us sprinkle in jokes that we made a last second. I remember, throughout the school day, I always looked forward to rehearsing with the club. I'd use my free time that I normally use to study to memorize my lines instead. I definitely sacrificed my GPA to make sure I knew my lines. And it was worth it. Because I refuse to let some number Define my intelligence. I'll save that for an online IQ test. Alright, I just opened the second page of Google to find an IQ test. Let's try it out. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 should be 11. Which number fits the question mark? 1? Wait, hold on. If all bloops are razzies, and all razzies are lazzies, then are all bloops definitely lazzies? It's one of those if-all statements, you know, that Socrates and Plato used to do all the time. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 13, 21. Which one doesn't belong to this series? Am I even recording? Hold on. 13 by 13, 14 by 14, 15 by 15, I think it's 225, right? Hold on, I'm gonna do some math. 225. Yeah. 4 A, B, C, and D suspects were interrogated. Okay, hold on. I actually have to think again. We can't assume that they would snitch each other out of whatever scenario they're in. It's like a prisoner's dilemma. Hold on. I got a big brain in this one. Ooh. I'm not Jimmy Neutron. I wish I was. Ooh. I'm pretty sure IQ tests also, like, test for how fast you could solve these. But if I guess, I can increase my IQ if I answer it fast enough. So pretend I just started to look at the question, and I'm just gonna pick this. Alright, I should get this one. What is the number in the asterisk cell? -3, -3, -3. Whew, okay, can't be negative, right? That's literally illegal. That's impossible. No! No! It's -5. This is like the golden ratio. All squared up. I need more water. I'm thirsty. Had a big bowl of shrimp earlier. Am I folding it? Can I rip off my computer screen and origami it? Oh my god! Golly jeez Christ, man. Okay, I gotta remember, speed is important, so I'm gonna guess 8. Oh, that shrimp is getting to me. You see, the problem is, if I don't immediately know it, the question is wrong. I'm actually a genius. What letter is in the 2 cells marked asterisks? Obviously that says Mixeo and Decoxyki. Ooh, hieroglyphics. I majored in cavemanology. Yes. Oh, Bubby. Oh my god. Oh my god. 154. Holy. Hold on. Albert Einstein IQ. Oh my god, I'm literally Albert Einstein. Hold on. I got another. Jimmy Neutron IQ. If you add about 60, I'm literally Jimmy Neutron. Hold on. Who's another smart guy? Oh, Hugh Neutron. Hold on. How smart is he? Hey, very clever and competent. That's gotta be me. That's gotta be me. I'm literally Hugh Neutron. Alright, back to the video. The heart of it all. Shows are what everyone looks forward to the most. All the efforts of the club members, from the writing, directing, filming, advertising, and everything in between, it all culminates into a memorable night. Doors open. Friends of the club and strangers who are in for a treat pour in to take their seats. Lights dim. It's happening. The show starts off with a banger of a cold open. These sketches give a taste of what to expect for the rest of the night. People cheer on, and the performers get the audience laughing. After the cold open, the president walks out with a microphone in hand and welcomes the audience. Music plays, and the cast of CNU Tonight is introduced through a segment called Run Across. Run Across brings out each individual cast member, from newest to oldest, and has them run across the stage however they like. Some members run with props. Some crab walk. Some cartwheel. Some slide across using heelys. Some straight up eat from a box of pizza. Every member introduced is given a nickname based on a randomly selected theme. May it be cereal, candles, or just something fun to say. The nicknames given are always so clever. The individuality of each member can be expressed within their 5 seconds of introduction. Watching the personalities of the members shine through before the show gets going is one of the many reasons why I am in love with this club. From here, the show keeps rolling. The adrenaline keeps pumping while the night ramps up. The sketches created by the club members, live and digital, get showcased, one after another. A roar of applause and a howl of cheering follow after every sketch.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Hearing the audience laugh at the jokes and at the delivery of the actors throughout the course of the show fills the club with immense joy. Knowing that a joke landed never gets old.
Woo!
Halfway through the show, there is a break from the regularly programmed sketches to do a news segment called Since Last Show. SLS. SLS is a fun scripted news segment where two hosts make fun of each other, while sometimes talking about any notable events. SLS brings recent events forward to the audience, ranging from news about the university they perform in, to raging political conflicts, such as cute mobs added into Minecraft. It's the only reliable news source I can trust. SLS is a staple in CNU Tonight shows. It's been a constant in every performance, and will continue on for as long as there is news to be had, and a duo to insult each other.
Raleigh, you're white. You work the night shift. White Knight, White Castle, Burger, Fortnite, Borgor. I rest my case.
After SLS, a streak of spirited sketches play out once again. The strong momentum continues and advances the show to the end. Reaching the end, a CNU Tonight show closes with a bombastic finale. You can almost sense it in your bones as the cast members walk out. On occasion, a majority of the performers are a part of the final sketch, giving it a sense of a grandiose conclusion. When the final joke is made and the show ends, every member comes out on stage to bow for their adoring audience. The show itself is the best part of the night, but what happens backstage is what makes the whole day even more memorable. The dress rehearsal is where the club puts everything all together. The club practices their lines as if the audience is already there, getting into the stride of performing loud and clear. The dress rehearsals go on for a couple hours, and everyone is always working on perfecting their characters. As the director calls sketches to be done on the stage, the remaining members group up backstage and practice their roles in little huddle circles. Everyone is actively helping one another out learning their roles, even when they aren't a part of the sketch being rehearsed. CNU Tonight members support one another because they want everyone to be confident and happy in their performance. Getting to be a part of a group that builds you up really brings out a smile in you for the entire day. I was always so happy with every show production that I had the chance to be a part of. Even during the actual show, the cast backstage is still helping each other out. You'll find people hyping each other up. You'll see people speedrunning their roles in little groups. You can even find members shaving their facial hair to really sell a role. I love when the performers finish a sketch, return backstage, and everyone tells them how well they did. It's a blast being backstage, experiencing everything happening around you all at once. This vitality stays throughout the entire night, up until the members can relax, as the show draws to a close. Occasionally, the show doesn't end when it usually does. There is a special kind of sketch, saved for the absolute end. This slot is reserved for the graduating seniors who are a part of CNU Tonight. For those seniors, on their last show, they will come together to write one last sketch, presented as the finale, during the last performance of the school year. Senior Sketch. Senior Sketch is how graduating members say their farewells to CNU Tonight. It's a sketch straight from the heart of the seniors, where they usually play themselves. The sketch itself can be anything they desire. Funny, dramatic, sensational, inspiring, heartfelt. These sketches are often emotional, given the circumstance of having to say goodbye to so many friends and to a place that they've grown to love. The most recent senior sketch was from the class of 2022. Matt, Emma, Ian, Rebecca, Jamie, Colin, and Davis. The senior cast played their future selves in the sketch, reuniting and recollecting their time at CNU Tonight. They converse about the many events that happened between them over the last 50 years. Except for Ian. He's dead. The class of 2022 learn more and more about each other's strange lives, until it's revealed Rebecca has become Jesus Christ. And she revives Ian. And now that everybody's present, the reckoning begins. Everyone takes turns sharing their last words, letting their emotions out into the world. The seniors say their farewells to the club, and to end it all off, they say,
Because together we are and always will be CNU Tonight!
I was fighting so hard to not cry when watching this sketch happen. These were people that were with me the entire time I was at CNU Tonight, and helped me grow to be who I am right now. God! Man, I miss them all so much. Senior sketches are some of the most impactful pieces that come out of CNU Tonight. These sketches are more than just a final sketch. It's a farewell letter straight from the graduating class, presented to the audience. This is where the seniors are at their most vulnerable, speaking their famous last words. And they know that within the near future, they will ascend to become CNU Tonight alumni. I was in the graduating class of 2020. During my last year at university, I was the only senior in CNU Tonight. The question regarding my potential senior sketch arose a few times. How was I going to do my senior sketch? Being that I was the sole person graduating, I had to get creative. Remember the Digitals, Death Cab for Cutie, and its sequel, From Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree? Well, I completed the storyline with a threequel to make it a trilogy. The final sketch of this trilogy was called Welcome to the Black Parade. This last sketch followed the events of Death Cab for Cutie and From Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree into the future. Chris, from the last two sketches, had two children, June and Saffron. They would become the main characters. The story starts with them talking about a parade that they were going to see later that day. To kill time, June and Saffron go on a little expedition. Not to Cracker Barrel, or to even Bed Bath & Beyond, but to Walmart. June and Saffron were brought to Walmart by an Uber, driven by the original Uber driver in Death Cab for Cutie. That Uber driver was me! June and Saffron explore Walmart, but being the children of Chris, they were destined for something more. They figured out that Walmart was not just a store, but the godlike organization that controls the strange universe that this entire trilogy takes place in. There are only 3 Walmarts. To liberate the universe from Walmart's grasp, each Walmart must be neutralized. As soon as June and Saffron figured this out, they learned that they were in fact in the first Walmart. Suddenly, the Walmartians apparated to stop them. The Walmartians chased them down all over Walmart, trying to silence them. Then, out of the blue, their Uber driver from earlier comes in to save June and Saffron. With the help of Uber driver, they defeat and escape the first Walmart. Uber driver knew about the 3 Walmarts and wanted to help June and Saffron. He drives them to the second Walmart, where they learn more about what the 3 Walmarts really are. To defeat the second Walmart, someone has to be sacrificed. Uber driver volunteers. But because the universe is cruel, the second Walmart takes Saffron instead. Uber driver, and especially June, are devastated. The second Walmart was defeated. Uber driver and June make it to the third Walmart. Another sacrifice has to be made. Uber driver insisted on his sacrifice, so that June can save Saffron in the end. June felt responsible for Saffron's death. She fought back against Uber driver's decision. June ultimately sacrificed herself. The third Walmart was defeated. It's over. Or that's what Uber driver thought. After June sacrificed herself, Uber driver got on his knees, desperate for an end. He couldn't ever get a break. One lone Walmartian walked behind Uber driver and confronted him on his actions. Uber driver and the Walmartian fight it out. Uber driver barely escapes and gets into his car. The Walmartian chases after him. While driving, Uber driver is being consumed by an unknown entity, a black and white polka dot morph suit. Uber driver doesn't flinch at his undoing and drives fast towards his destiny, into a wall. The Walmartian stops chasing him, unsure of Uber driver's death wish. Uber driver's entire body is consumed by the morph suit, except for his face. He drives head-on to the wall. He crashes. The screen cuts to black. That's the end of Welcome to the Black Parade. But it was not the end of this story. And now, my senior sketch could start. My 2020 senior sketch was called Famous Last Words. This sketch would follow immediately after Welcome to the Black Parade. After Uber driver, me, crashed into the wall at the very end of Welcome to the Black Parade, I would be thrown onto the stage with the polka dot morph suit completely engulfing me. For context, I used to wear this morph suit to every single CNU Tonight show I was in. The only constituent was that I never once put on the morph suit's headpiece to fully cover myself. My senior sketch was going to be the first and last time I would fully put on the morph suit on stage. After standing up on stage, a video will play. It's Uber driver on the screen. Uber driver would talk to me on stage. I would respond. This section of the senior sketch would be a hybrid live/digital sketch, where my real self would talk to my fictional self. Here, I would have a conversation with Uber driver, learning that the entire story, Death Cab for Cutie, from Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree, and Welcome to the Black Parade were not real. There were no talking inanimate objects. There were no wall Martians. And there was no such thing as a first, second, or third Walmart. Those were just sketches, played by people on screen. None of that took place in our world. I would learn where I was on that stage, at that moment, was reality. To exemplify this, Uber driver will tell the parade, mentioned at the beginning of Welcome to the Black Parade, to come out on stage with me. And I'd like to show you what the parade was going to be. The parade was going to be every single member of CNU Tonight presently at the time. Everyone. And every individual of the parade would speak one word at a time. I wanted everybody in the club to have at least one line in my senior sketch. I was the only senior in 2020. I was the only one graduating. But for my senior sketch, I didn't want to be alone. I wanted everyone there to be with me for what would be my final moments at CNU Tonight. The parade would speak to me, and I would respond. The parade would then ask me one last question about CNU Tonight. What will be your famous last words? Looks like I broke the fourth Walmart. But none of that got to happen. Because in 2020... I was devastated that I didn't get the chance to finish my time at CNU Tonight with all my friends next to me. I felt so despondent that I essentially wouldn't be able to get closure. What's even worse is that in 2021, the worldly situations didn't get any better. The seniors in the class of 2021 didn't get to have a senior sketch their graduating year either. I felt terrible for them. I couldn't believe that they also had to lose their CNU Tonight finale. I remember talking to them years ago about how excited they were for their senior sketch. The multi-year-long tradition of seniors getting to have their last moments on stage came to a quiet halt. But that didn't mean me or the class of 2021 would be without a senior sketch forever. Because of the absolute kindness and benevolence of the class of 2022, and every other member of the club at the time, they allowed the old members who didn't get to have a senior sketch to come back on stage one last time to finish their story. We were thrilled! Raleigh, Avery, Tyler, Tim, Kyle, and me. We were given the opportunity to perform our collaborative senior sketch at the end of the February 2022 CNU Tonight show. We got to work. We had a lot of time to create something we'd all be proud of. Spawned at midnight in a TGIF, Raleigh, Avery, and Tyler came up with an idea for senior sketch. I was having dinner with them after a CNU Tonight show when they told me about it. The senior sketch idea was for each of the graduated members to have our own section to tell, to show off our individual writing styles and skills. There would be multiple sections with different scenarios, each of which would be made by one of the graduated members. We had a great start for what we wanted to do. We discussed many potential ideas, excited that we had the chance to make something happen. The night ended and we went our separate ways. We would discuss and jot down ideas in a shared Google Doc. During that night at TGIF, I witnessed Raleigh order 2 bottles of milk. He chugged them down as if his life depended on it. I kept thinking about it. Life. Milk. Cats drink milk. Cats have 9 lives. Raleigh's life depended on milk. Raleigh. Cat. Cat boy. Raleigh is a boy. Raleigh drinks milk. Raleigh is a cat boy. Cat boy Raleigh. I pitched the idea that in order for everyone to write their own distinct part in our senior sketch, we would each write about how we would kill Raleigh. With the help of everyone else, we cleaned up the idea and shaped it to be something wonderful. Our senior sketch was titled Raleigh in Peace. The sketch would take place at Raleigh's funeral. During his service, we would all reminisce about the time we shared with him. But the question stood: how exactly did Raleigh die? He was last seen with each of us individually. So that means one of us, the people at his funeral, must have killed him. This was a murder mystery that needed to be solved. And because we loved Raleigh so much, we each took turns speculating about how we would hypothetically kill him. It was all in good fun though. None of us would actually kill Raleigh. Our individual speculations were digital sketches that played during our live performance. This made our senior sketch a hybrid of live and digital, something we've always dreamed of doing. After we let our imaginations run loose, we came to the conclusion that someone attending his funeral did indeed kill Raleigh. We all killed him. Now, because Raleigh was a cat boy, he had 9 lives, allowing us to violently end his life without having to worry all that much. Mystery solved! We were all murderers and Raleigh lost his final life.
Oh, hey, would you look at that? The Penguins beat the Capitals.
What do you know? Raleigh had another life in him. He came out of the coffin and berated us for murdering him and complained that he only had 1 life left. We were in shock. After Raleigh's tirade, he crawled back into the coffin and he let us continue on with the funeral anyway. Yay! After we happily put him and his last life back into the funeral box, we accidentally dropped the coffin, killing Raleigh in the process, and ending our time at CNU Tonight. We did it! We got to have our senior sketch, and we got to do it together. We were euphoric. This was one of the best moments we've ever had in our lives. We were so grateful that the new members of CNU Tonight were so supportive of us performing this senior sketch. All the current members went into the audience to watch our senior sketch. Seeing their smiling silhouettes in the shadow of the stage light, I knew I was in the best club in the world. Behind the scenes of Raleigh in Peace was cool. We wrote this sketch over a couple weeks. Raleigh and his majestic director abilities shot and edited all the digitals that were a part of this sketch. Luckily, most of the members lived close enough to each other to film in person. We only rehearsed this sketch for a total of 3 days. 2 days were online and the last day was in person when we met on the day of the show. But for the first part of the show day, we spent about an hour and a half putting cardboard boxes together and slathering tape on it to make it into a coffin. We were figuring out how to not actually kill Raleigh when we shoved him into this cardboard contraption. My favorite memory about this box building workshop was when Avery was using a box cutter, getting all the cardboard boxes in shape for Raleigh's cold corpse. I remember Avery saying, "Dude, I never once cut myself when using a box cutter, and I've been using one since I worked at Chick-fil-A." 25 seconds later, Avery accidentally cut himself with the box cutter. Comedic timing sprinkled with a bloody biohazard. Luckily, the cut wasn't too bad at all, and everything was all right. He went to the school nurse and he got all patched up. The day continued, and we all went to the Black Box Theater to prepare for our last sketch. Being at the Black Box again, it was the first time we got to really meet the new generation of CNU Tonight. And we were so proud to see how much the club was thriving. Every moment was wonderfully energetic. We rehearsed our roles backstage, leading up to our shining moment. It was time for us to make it happen. We went on stage, performed our hearts out, and finished our last moments at CNU Tonight. Together. Raleigh actually dies. Any established club has its fair share of traditions. CNU Tonight has quite a few of its own. On the day of a show, CNU Tonight traditions start. Backstage, minutes before a performance, is when everyone comes together to hold hands in a circle. One person initiates a hand squeeze, and that hand squeeze gets passed on to everyone in a circle, like a game of telephone. This happens twice. After that, the club stays in the circle that they formed. The following tradition is the shoutouts. The club members individually shout out people that they're thankful for. It can be anybody. Friends, parents, significant others, another person in the club, anyone you want to. This gives the members some time to express their appreciation about somebody special in their lives. The members are always so sweet with their words. I adored getting to hear about all the awesome people that they shout out in their lives. And for the final pre-show tradition, everybody puts their hands together in the middle of the circle and do a fun little CNU Tonight chant. CNU Tonight! As I've come to learn, there has been debate on how this chant actually goes. The other way is... CNU! CNU Tonight! The entire time I was actively a part of the club, we did it the former way, where we shouted CNU Tonight after 2 rounds of The current president of CNU Tonight, Thomas, agrees with me here. Thank you. But the newest generation claims that this way is absolutely wrong, and they believe that the chant goes on 3 times. To which I respond, the club is in your hands, and that traditions passed down from you to the future will be under your guidance. As the passage of time moves forward, and time changes, so will some traditions. It's 2. But after the chanting tradition, everyone breaks. And now the show can start. Woo! The show goes on to be amazing! Woo! The club has a tradition of grabbing dinner together. Specifically, they go to Cookout. Delicious, speedy, and cheap. The perfect place to go to chow down and celebrate all the memories that were made. Cookout runs after a CNU Tonight show are always something to look forward to. Seeing the cast come together and talk about the show, and praising each other for how they performed, always made me feel so lucky to be in such a supportive environment. The food tradition doesn't stop here though. The following week after a show, the club comes together to eat at a 24/7 IHOP. Breakfast foods at night taste even better when you're with friends. At IHOP, the club just hangs out with each other, enjoying the company of one another.
There is pepper, hot sauce, water, ketchup, and strawberry syrup.
A couple tears. Oh, I thought this was Mama.
It's gonna run out.
Eventually.
I'm not driving.
Goodbye.
Damn, that's me.
Oh, wow. You really made out with that spoon.
Yeah, I know. It's not my car.
Just know that I'm very disappointed.
What was
It's okay, Tyler.
During the night at IHOP, the president of the club stands up and gathers everybody's attention. Then, the president celebrates the club by taking a half-and-half creamer shot. I was incredibly lucky to get to participate in this presidential tradition. During my time, I switched up the tradition a little bit. Instead of just taking one shot of creamer, I put 2 of the entire creamer cups into my mouth and popped them open by biting down. This gave me 2 whole shots of creamer, with a hefty helping of plastic.
We go to IHOP and we celebrate by giving the president a creamer, but I like doing 2. So, here we go.
Bottoms up.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you.
Very cool.
And it was fun. There was a drawback though. Because I exploded creamer cups in my mouth, some of the creamer would zip out of my mouth, causing an unpredictable splash zone.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of an exploding IHOP creamer cup, you may be entitled to experience it again.
Unrelated to traditions, one of my favorite CNU Tonight memories at IHOP was when a member, Kyle Minjoni, dropped and broke a glass cup. The waitress came out to clean up the mess, and she told Kyle, "You're going to need a sippy cup." On that night, Kyle Minjoni was relentlessly made fun of for becoming Sippy Cup Boy. There are also a few traditions within CNU Tonight that happen at the end of the year, that the seniors do. The first tradition is Senior Sketch. Following their last moments on stage, the seniors get to participate in a second tradition, which was recently added. After the class of 2022 finished their emotional senior sketch, they pulled the entire cast, including the graduated folk, who were in the audience, backstage. They were going to introduce a new tradition to everyone. They whipped out the club's infamous Absolute Bottle. And we were bewildered. The Absolute Bottle is a real-life superweapon, locked within the deepest hells of the club's storage closet. The Absolute Bottle has been with the club for as long as we know. Nobody has dared to throw it out. It's a tattered and aged bottle, filled with a murky, deathly liquid that probably dates back to 1999 when CNU Tonight was founded. We really thought that they were going to drink it. After all these years of joking about drinking from this vile bottle, I thought they were actually going to do what no person has ever done before. Luckily, they didn't. I guarantee that the Absolute Bottle is pure insta-death liquid. Instead, the graduating class was going to sign the Absolute bottle. I thought that was a genius idea. Each of the seniors held the bottle, gave a little speech, and signed it. It was absolutely glorious. What was surprising, though, is that the seniors gave us, the graduated people, the Absolute bottle to sign too. The bottle was meant to be signed by everyone who is graduating or had already graduated. The class of 2022 have done so much for us. We are eternally grateful for all the opportunities that they've given us, even after becoming alumni. Thank you for allowing our names to be immortalized on this legendary bottle. Beloved director, Raleigh, messaged me about a few gift ideas for CNU Tonight. As we were all in quarantine, we had to find something we can do digitally. Raleigh and I would then go on to create a ranking list of our favorite CNU Tonight sketches. We would also rank our favorite sketches that we personally wrote, as a little bonus. So, in secret, we crafted our list and presented it to the club. This event gave us the chance to praise all the imaginative writers in the club. With the overflow of great sketches that came from CNU Tonight, making a ranking list was a little bit of a challenge. But it gave me an excuse to watch a bunch of sketches over again and to laugh for hours. A year later, the graduating president, Colin, and the graduating director, Rebecca, came out with their ranking list as well. It was a surprise to Raleigh and I that this was brought back. So far, it looks like that this may stick around as another end-of-year tradition. Celebrating each other is what CNU Tonight loves to do. Amongst all the banter and playful insults within the club members, they all recognize each other as wonderful people. The Paper Plate Awards is a new tradition where the graduating president and director create specific and unique awards on paper plates to give to their fellow CNU Tonight members. These awards can be anything. Awards range from Pied Piper Award, Vivid Convivial Award, Jack of All Trades but also Master of All Trades Award, to Best Person in the Club Award. These paper plates spotlight the uniqueness of every single member in a very amusing way. They deserve the best, and I'm glad it was handed to them on a colorfully drawn paper plate. Extremely Dead Catboy, Raleigh, also started the Paper Plate Awards in this club. He messaged me one day, asking if I would do the Paper Plate Awards with him, as another surprise for the club, and I thought it was the perfect idea. So, we made some digital plates and presented them to the club a couple weeks later through a Discord call. A lot of fun awards were made and given out. Raleigh and I got to highlight everything we loved about the people in the club. We had a great time making and presenting these awards. So seeing that the Paper Plate Awards stuck around into 2022 made us extra happy. And seeing that the plates were physically made this time around got a giant smile from me. So far, the Paper Plate Awards have only been done by the graduated/graduating president and director. We haven't seen how the Paper Plate Awards will go if the president and the director are not in the graduating class. But I hope for these awards to be an annual event. I love the personality that goes into these plates, and I know the members enjoy them just as much as I do. There was one Paper Plate Award in particular that caught my attention. It was the Joelification Award that was given to our friend and current historian of CNU Tonight, Austin Molina. The award was made by Colin. The award was made by Rebecca. And it brought such a big smile on my face when I first saw it. Seeing this award gave me an idea. And I'm gonna need Austin to make it happen. I'm gonna spin around and appear next to Austin.
Hello!
I convinced Austin that we should fuse our powers to become one giant ethnic man. We took our names, Austin Molina and Joel Mabalot, to create our fusion, Ostol Mabalina.
Woo! Yeah, baby!
And together, we rampaged through Christopher Newport University.
That should be the reveal. Let's have a movement test. Okay. Alright, so it's not ripping apart, is it? No, it's not. Okay. Double high five. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
That was a great shot. Good shot, bro. Nice. Wow, that's beautiful.
You need to put more tape.
Oh no!
No, you got it.
Got it. Got it.
The silence and just the sound of the bubble wrap.
I'm waterboarding and laughing.
Are you guys going up the elevator? Do I go up with you guys? Wait, what is happening? What is happening? Wait, am I letting go? Am I letting go?
Let's get out.
Oh my god!
Oh, I missed that! Damn!
Alright.
Thank you so much, Austin, for making this come true. The Paper Plate Awards have become a personal favorite of mine, because everyone gets trophies for being themselves. Here was the last Paper Plate Award that I gave out. It was for CNU Tonight, and I can tell that it's a truth that will stand the test of time. Day 3, filming at CNU, beginning of November. I tried gathering footage as sneaky as possible to not run into anybody, and it didn't work out because when I went inside of a looter, specifically looter 242, to grab footage in there, I ran into Thomas. So I had to explain to him I was working on a secret project. Well, it's out now, but it was a secret when I was filming it. But it was nice getting to see him again. Table, chair, woo! Who's there to cheer on the club when they're performing? The audience. The people in the crowd are what makes CNU Tonight shows as energetic as they are. Friends of the club, students who saw our advertisements, family members, old members of CNU Tonight. These lovely people make up the audience that we try to give a fun night to. Hearing the laughter and cheers of the crowd during the shows keeps the spirits high. Backstage, we'd always have a mini celebration whenever one of our jokes land. Getting a reaction out of the audience is something the club works for. Making people smile is definitely a metric of success for the shows. And knowing that the club always comes up with and executes fantastic ideas, making the crowd laugh is a guarantee. I'd like to give a gigantic shout out to all the people who comes to CNU Tonight shows. A good chunk of the crowd are friends of the club who came to support the performance and the people in it. Getting to see familiar faces cheer on through the entire night makes the club one of the luckiest groups on campus. My college roommates, Tim, Robert, Peter, and Kyle, came to every single CNU Tonight show. Tim and Kyle would later join the club. My roommates were super supportive of me and the club, and I can't thank that group enough for being such an important part of my life. I also had another friend that came to every show, Daniel. He was a constant in the audience, always cheering us on stage. I also love how Daniel made sure to go on the CNU Tonight YouTube channel and rewatch the sketches. Daniel was a good friend of mine through college, and getting to hear him speak so highly of the club meant a whole lot. Another person I'd like to shout out is Carson. I met him through Avery and Raleigh, and I've seen him come to quite a few shows. Carson, Avery, and Raleigh came to a lot of the CNU Tonight performances after they graduated to be in the audience. I remember running into Carson like many months ago at Chick-fil-A, and that's when we learned we lived in the same town. That's also when I learned he too was a certified Chick-fil-A addict. Carson also drives a really cool yellow car that I'm jealous of. Also, I'd like to shout out another friend of the club, Aiden. I've always considered him an honorary member of the club, despite him going to a completely different university than us. During quarantine, I'd see him pop into a couple CNU Tonight meetings, and even read a few sketches with us, just for fun. He's even helped us write the sketch, The History of the Beatles. Aiden is also a very fun artist, and I love playing drawing games with him. CNU Tonight is super fortunate that there are people to applaud them for their works and keep coming back for more. Thank you to everyone who makes these shows so cheerful. Before I joined CNU Tonight, I was in the audience for one show. Now, after graduating, I get to be in the audience once again. And getting to see all these sketches happen before my very eyes makes me look forward to every single show.
I'm here for the first CNU Tonight show of this semester, and I'm very excited. Got to speak with a couple of the members, and it's gonna be fun. Just saw the CNU Tonight show. Oh my god, I'm always mind blown about how good this cast is, and the sketches that they're pulling off, and oh my god, especially Austin. The maid sketch, Manly Maids. I'm in love with that sketch so much. Dude, I'm so ready to see the future. Every single show has been fantastic.
During the semester, away from club meetings and shows, are other events that the members can also be a part of. There was a game of Assassin held for the club members who wanted to be a part of it. Assassin is a game where everybody is given a different target to assassinate. You know who you're targeting, but you don't know who's targeting you. It can be a little bit anxiety-inducing. In the game, what counts as assassinating someone varies. During the CNU Tonight match, stabbing your target with a spoon was how you would kill your opponent. If you kill your target, your next target is the target of the person you just murdered. Games of Assassin take place for as long as the players want. The time limit for this game was 1 week. The game itself can make you temporarily alter your lifestyle if you're trying to win. Changing your day-to-day schedule to avoid being assassinated was common. Luckily, there were rules in place to make sure people don't completely change their normal lives. There were time frames of invincibility, like when you had classes or during CNU Tonight meetings. As the game progressed, some rules were added and adjusted. Being on a college campus, there was a lot of room to plan out how you were going to assassinate your target, all while avoiding being caught yourself. The CNU Tonight game of Assassin came to a bloody end, and only a few survived. Good thing I still have this PowerPoint that recapped this assassin game. Here was everyone's target. For the first blood, Kyle killed Natalie. Sometime later, Tyler killed Avery. Tyler would then kill Kyle, making himself way ahead of the game. Emma gets her first kill on Ian. Thomas kills Christina. If I remember correctly, there was an extended chase between them all throughout the dining hall when this happened. I wonder what the onlookers thought. Emma gets her second kill on Matt. I remember Matt was playing smart the entire game, so this was a challenging target. Lastly, Colin gets his first kill on Thomas. Then later that same day, Colin killed Tyler. Only 4 people were left when the game ended. It was very entertaining getting to watch this all play out. I gave out a couple of awards based on how the members played. In third place, Tyler. Then there was a tie. Emma and Colin were left to battle for first place. In the end though, Emma was the victor after Colin decided that she deserved the win. Amazing! I am glad that this game of Assassins happened before the world changed a month later. It was a nice way for everyone to be with each other one last time before CNU would go virtual. Advertising the club is an event of its own. The university's club fair is where it's at. During the club fair, CNU Tonight gets its own table in a sea of many other organizations. The goal was to try and get as many people to check out the club as possible. We make flyers, posters, and even hand out snacks. At the table, club members would try and pitch CNU Tonight to any passing student that looked even a little bit interested in the club. Everybody has a unique personality with their own sense of humor. CNU Tonight likes gathering new folk into the club and giving them a place to bring out their talents. After my first show, I was enamored and so overjoyed with how awesome the club was. So, I signed up to advertise CNU Tonight in the upcoming club fair. I wanted everyone to have as much fun as I did. So, for the club fair, I skipped my physics class, put on my polka dot morph suit with my CNU Tonight shirt over it. But that morph suit wasn't enough. I also bought a whiteboard and wrote, "Why'd you leave me?" on it.
Why did you leave me?
I would carry that whiteboard around, getting people to sign it, while advertising CNU Tonight. I was on a mission to advertise this club that I was passionate about.
Why'd you leave me? Why'd you leave me? What are you doing? My best. I'm sorry. Why'd you leave me? Why?
And it worked. People were learning about the club. Though it was a little bit crazy, I was crazy about CNU Tonight. Murder Mystery. Another fun event that took place near Halloween. Vice President of CNU Tonight at the time, Emma, and her other club, Lock and Key, invited us to be actors for a murder mystery event that they were holding. Lock and Key was the club on campus that focused on making puzzles and mysteries for their members to solve. It was the perfect spooky collaboration. With the event coming up in a few days, each actor got to create their own character, guided by a few necessary traits for the story. The story we'd work off of was that one of the E-board members of Lock and Key, Gabby, was secretly killed by one of the CNU Tonight actors. We met with Lock and Key about an hour before the Halloween event. They explained the final plot of the murder mystery, told us about the puzzles that Lock and Key members had to solve, and gave us the go to improv. As the Lock and Key members came in to solve who the murderer was, the CNU Tonight cast had a lot of fun getting to play off their character as the potential murderer. Our Halloween crossover led to a remarkable night, full of murderific motives, red herrings, blood, and friendship.
Hey, I got to hang out with CNU Tonight after their second show of this semester, and it was so fun just getting to be around everybody's energy, and I'm just super happy to see this club thrive.
With all that the CNU Tonight members do together, it comes as no surprise that deep friendships form here. You'll always find members hanging out with each other. There are many times after a club meeting where we would just jump straight into a game night, or us getting late night snacks together. I remember when I got incredibly drunk with Matt at a party, and we spent the entire night trying to figure out how to obtain pizza. I remember being in Tyler's dorm, trying to swallow Nestle dry chocolate powder, and nearly puking. And I remember this hangout with most of the club at Emma's dorm where we played games. That night turned into something fantastic when Colin made a comment about the cheese balls on the table. He told us about his record of fitting about 30 of these cheese balls in his mouth all at once. So, naturally, everyone in the room encouraged him to beat his record.
7. Kyle's ID does not matter anymore, I'm staying here.
8.
Colin started putting cheese balls in his mouth, one by one, slowly approaching his record of 30-something cheese balls. He kept piling them in, fitting the cheese balls wherever he could, making squirrels jealous of his cheek space. And then he did it. He beat his personal record. But Colin was too powerful. He didn't stop there. He kept putting more and more cheese balls into the mound in his mouth, while people in the room were in absolute awe. The madman did it. He put about 50 cheese balls in his mouth all at once. He spit out the cheese ball of God from his mouth into the trash can and was celebrated by everyone in the room. The cheese ball mound was so condensed, it started to make the room smell like cheddar melted over hell.
We're doing 28?
28. Emma,
3 more.
Natalie's at the door.
Wait a minute.
Rory!
Till this day, every time I look at cheese balls, I think about Colin. Even when we were physically separated, we still hung out online. During the middle of 2020, we'd create a Discord server to act as our central CNU Tonight hub. Many times over the summer, we'd have a lot of game nights, especially Jackbox. I always felt so lucky getting to play a comedy game with a comedy club. It would always result in nights of uncontrollable laughter. Now, with the ever-growing Discord server, I get to see the fun interactions between the members from my time to the newest faces on the block. Watching the club evolve throughout the times before my eyes has been a delight. Going through all these pictures, videos, and memories of my friends and I from years ago has made me so emotional. When I was young, I would have never guessed that I would be in a position surrounded by so many admirable people. I can't count the amount of times that I was distracted by my happiness while trying to focus on making this video. I'm pretty sure I definitely went crazy somewhere in between all of this, and God, I don't know. I still don't know what I'm doing. One word to describe my time at CNU Tonight. Perfect. I wanted to share my experiences with CNU Tonight here, to try and capture how much this part of my life I got to share with you guys meant to me. I know there are so many more stories and accounts of CNU Tonight within the memories of everyone who's ever been involved with the club. I just wish that I could listen to those old stories and get to hear all the fun people had in this club. Which is why I'm so happy to update you on someone I contacted earlier in this project. This is Molly Stillman. I had the honor of her responding to my email, asking if she wanted to video chat. I excitedly accepted the offer, and had the chance to speak with her. Molly was a member of CNU Tonight from 2003 to 2007. She's a writer, teacher, speaker, comedian, blogger, podcaster, and so much more. Molly and I talked for a good while. She was the perfect person to speak with. It makes me so happy that I had the chance to hear about her experiences with CNU Tonight and the impact it had on her college life. I learned so much about the club, its former members, and its surprising history from her. So, of course, I wanted to share some snippets of the conversation Molly and I had. Her accounts of past CNU Tonight were fascinating, and I am elated she wanted to share her story here. I present to you a first-hand historical account of old CNU Tonight.
A lot out of it. Like I said, I mean, I really kid you not when I say that's why I went to CNU was because of CNU Tonight.
Yeah, that is so awesome for me to hear about that.
Yeah.
That this club has impacted people from the beginning.
Yeah.
Instead of like being something that just grew. It was big from the start.
Yeah.
Also,
and but we would, when I say like we would pack it out, like we would pack it out. Like CNU Tonight was, everybody talked about it on campus. Everybody was like, are you going to CNU Tonight shows? Like we would pack 700, 800, 900, 1,000 people in there.
Oh
like,
my God, what?
Easily. Like I kid you not, like we would pack it out. Like people, I mean, it's not a big school. Like
yeah, that's pretty much the entire school.
Yeah, so I mean, like we had a lot of people that would like their families would come and stuff like that. So I mean, but it was packed. And it was so much fun. So it started, it's funny because I kind of been looking at some of the CNU Tonight stuff, and it's interesting to see like a lot has changed because CNU Tonight, it started off as not explicitly a faith-based comedy group, but it was started by Christians. And so it was a clean comedy show. And so it was that way from the time it started in fall of 99 till after I graduated. So I don't know like when that really shifted. And so, I mean, and not that we would definitely do sketches that pushed the envelope, but but yeah, there was never any, like our goal was always, we wanted kids on campus to be able to come and see it and laugh. We wanted your grandma to be able to come and see it and laugh. We wanted your younger sister to be able to come and see it and laugh. So we wanted it to be a show that was accessible to everyone. We certainly, like I said, absolutely push the envelope and stuff, but in a, what I would say like a family friendly way.
Yes.
And that was really foundational for the organization and something that was drilled into us in a lot of ways. There would be a lot of times like where we would want to do a sketch and have a line, and leadership of the organization were like, nope, like your grandma can't hear that. So it ain't gonna happen. Yeah. So we obviously, there was a lot of, we did a lot of tribble stuff. And he came to like maybe one show. Maybe. But he always knew that we would lampoon him. We had a lot of, and quite a few of the guys that I did CNU Tonight with, like we all went to New York and Chicago and LA and studied comedy and so my best friend Ryan, so he's still doing comedy to this day. My other buddy Aaron, he works a day job, but he still does improv. So now you got all these people in their like late 30s and we're all doing comedy. So I did comedy till I was about 26-ish. And then I got married and started having kids. And I still do a lot in the creative space and writing and but I don't I eventually abandoned the dream of moving to New York.
Yeah.
Actually what I wanted to do. But I still, I trained at Upright Citizens Brigade, Second City, People's Improv Theater, traveled all around and performed sketch and improv around the country, and a lot of it was with my CNU Tonight people that we kept doing after college. In fact, Ryan and a couple other guys moved to New York, and my college boyfriend did CNU Tonight his junior and senior year, and he now lives in LA and he's done stuff with Comedy Central. He works on the Joel McHale show, people like that. So I tell you, we took it it was not just this little hobby.
Wow.
It was it was pretty intense. So actually, funny enough, hold on one second, let me grab
all right.
So I have this t-shirt blanket that was made out of college t-shirts. But I have on here, where is it? Yep. Okay. I have my top 10 reasons to be.
Oh my gosh!
Shirt and
vintage shirt.
It's vintage. So this was our shirts, and it says top 10 reasons to be in CNU Tonight, and there are 11 reasons. Which we thought was hilarious.
It is.
Number 11, you don't have to be literate to be funny. Number 10, we know it's not condoms sold in restrooms, it's bubblegum. 9, using the bathroom in front of 300 people is no longer weird. These are all sketches that were really famous. Number 8, we own the rights to the White Boy remix album. 7, 5 words, the captain's only got one ball. 6, 2 words, chick fights. Number 5, freestyle walking is too a sport. Yeah, it is. Number 4, we're equal opportunity offenders. Number 3, we don't sail boats, we just make clothes. Number 2, we write the jokes that you tell later. And number 1, we're sick, wicked, nasty. So yeah. Oh, I forgot about this. This guy, David. This was during a rehearsal. David broke his leg or something, and we had to call 911 during a rehearsal.
Oh my gosh!
For sure, documented the whole thing. Oh no! It wasn't his leg. He fell on his man parts.
Oh God!
It was bad, and
they wheel him out of there. That's amazing.
Yes. And then look at his quote. I better get Live Strong. Oh, the paramedic told me these pictures were unnecessary. I agree, is what I wrote. February 12th, 2007.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he had a little bar at his house called Boom Powers. And this was a New Year's party there, but it was all CNU Tonight people. So Sean was a freaking talented writer. Oh my gosh, he was so good. He was one of our best writers for sure. I'm telling you, it's these go back.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I said, I don't know when it transitioned from being really a primarily family friendly focused show to not. I don't know when that transition happened.
That is so cool for me to hear, because I wonder where the transition or what kind of gradient it went through to where the club is very much more casual where everybody could join in. Doesn't matter about your talents or your abilities. If you want to laugh, you could come in and have fun. So
Yeah.
I wondered, what time period did a lot of those changes occur?
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if it was more gradual. Did it happen overnight?
Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know.
I would assume it had to happen a couple years after you, but as far as I know, around times in like 2014, the club is the same as it is around today. So I wonder what happened in like 2008, 2009, 2010 that really changed it up.
That's kind of what I think is probably around sometime after, like shortly after we left.
Yes. After like all the original cast and stuff kind of went away.
Yeah, because we would gather all the sketches that we were going to do. So usually the way it would work was first couple of weeks we would pitch. We would do like team building and like comedy exercises and improv games and stuff like that. And then we would pitch sketch ideas. And then we would often go, okay, like if somebody had a really good idea, it was like, all right, go write it, bring us a draft kind of thing. And so we would have writing meetings, where then we would do table reads of sketches. We would like group think, kind of like tighten up jokes or figure out how to make it funnier or punch harder. And then we would, and the head writers would get together for like casting night. And so those nights, everybody else would leave, and probably like 4 or 5 of us would stay after, sometimes till like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Outlining the show, and we would cast the roles in each sketch, and then the next meeting we would hand it out and people would get their sketches and we would make copies of everything. I mean, it was like it was an intense process. And then it was a matter of then rehearsals, costumes, set design, even though like our budget was very minimal. So, we didn't do like elaborate sets, but if it was like a talk show or things like that, we would, try to do something to create the world. But yeah, that's kind of how it worked.
Yeah, it's really cool to hear about how CNU Tonight was very involved in itself, and like you guys staying after till like 2 a.m. and such.
Oh, easily. Those were some of my favorite nights, honestly, because we would be in the student center super late and we'd just bring food, or we'd order pizza, and we would be, up to like, and then you get to the part where you're so tired and you're loopy and like laughing. Yeah, it was fun.
Footage
I hope any of this is interesting to you.
It is. I thoroughly enjoy learning about the history of things that haven't been uncovered, and you had pretty much all the information ever, pictures of a time that none of us got to experience or even hear about. So it was really fun getting to see all those pictures.
Yeah. And like I have videos from some of those shows, because that was how I made that compilation.
Okay.
And the reason I'd made that was because I was sending that as like audition tapes to comedy theaters.
Yeah.
So that was like, but that was, I mean, so early in the YouTube days where nobody really knew what they were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. So it's funny that you found it, because I'm like, I didn't even know that was still lived on the internet.
Yeah. I bet you would never guess you uploading that like a dozen years ago would lead to you talking to me after finding it.
Never. I would never guess.
History, it's pretty important, and I'm so glad that it gets preserved in this way.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, and I would, like I said, let me know what other questions you have, if there's anything.
With this new group of people, they're very energetic, and they got a lot of friends everywhere, so we've been seeing nice resurgences of the hundreds again.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because, I miss CNU Tonight every day. That's why I'm working on this little secret passion project to try and like show the club about the history. Differences in sketches. I still think there is like a spirit within the club that kind of is present for like every member that joins the club.
Yeah. It was it was a really special group to be a part of. And
Awesome.
I mean, like
I am very excited to see what I can do with this information, and like
awesome.
I just feel so perfectly like overwhelmed with like
oh, good.
Yeah, I'm like happy to hear about all of the history and stuff about this.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy to help, and I'm happy to talk with you, and just know that somebody else cares about it is fun. So
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I hope you have a good night, and I will talk with you soon.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Thank you again. I will definitely reach out to you if I need anything else whatsoever.
Sounds great.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Reflecting on this conversation from a historical standpoint, I found Molly's experiences as a delightful revelation to the old days of CNU Tonight. From the time the club was founded in 1999 to around 2007 is when CNU Tonight was the place to be if you wanted to kickstart a career in the entertainment industry. The time period between 1999 to 2007 is also when the oldest members played a part with the club, even after their graduations. The OG members guided the direction of the club, having their original vision of CNU Tonight present throughout their involvement. Molly was a part of the club during the middle of this time period, under the close influence of the founding members. The club's performances and style of humor at the time was described to be more suitable for a general audience. It was creative, experimental, involved lots of props, and even had some musical influences. CNU Tonight was a place where you could take college students, children, and grandparents for a fun, hearty laugh. She also noted that CNU Tonight was a significant step into the business of comedy for its club members. Some cast members even landed positions at places like Comedy Central. Molly spoke about how CNU Tonight shows were a special occasion that everyone on campus talked about. They would amass hundreds to even 1,000 people in the audience. That is approximately 1/5 of the entirety of Christopher Newport University coming to see a CNU Tonight show. CNU Tonight was a monolith. Molly explained that the founding members stepped away from CNU Tonight around 2007, right around the time when she graduated. The newest generation made up the entirety of CNU Tonight, and it was their turn to hold the torch, to take the club in a new direction. The history of CNU Tonight between 2007 through 2013 is a bit of a mystery. Footage of the club between this time period is minimal. Any documented fundamental changes to the club during these years are almost nowhere to be found. Molly and I discussed this. We speculated that the period after 2007 to 2014 is where a slow, gradual paradigm shift occurred within CNU Tonight. Each cohort of cast members likely had a reciprocal relationship of influence with the club. Changes within the organization, from rules and logistics to styles of humor, adapted alongside the times. CNU Tonight's identity peacefully swayed with the years. In the beginning, it was a lively place where comedy lovers and aspiring professional performers could come together to create nights of laughter. In modern times, CNU Tonight is composed of an assortment of vibrant people and styles of humor. It's a warm, welcoming place for anyone who has any interest in comedy to join in the fun in creating nights of joy. It's the same club. Molly and I experienced CNU Tonight quite differently, but we wholeheartedly agree that the club's spirit is still the same. The essence of the club is that it will always be an oasis on campus, to build friendships and have laughs. Thank you again, Molly, for making this conversation happen. I had a great time getting to speak with you about CNU Tonight. You have contributed an incredible amount to the history of this club. This means so much to us. Following Molly's story and my story from earlier, I'm more than ecstatic to find that the infinite passion the club has existed within its members from essentially the start of the club. I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to talk with her. Listening to her speak so highly about the club during her time and the friends that she made reminded me of what else I'd love to talk about. Now feels like the right time. My adoration for CNU Tonight is more than just the holistic experience I described. My appreciation runs deep to every single aspect of the club, especially the members. I would like to take the time and just talk about the people that I've come to befriend and love. Born on Christmas Day, Tyler is a gift. He is a magician with more than cards up his sleeve. He brought his creative mind, influenced from all sorts of pop culture, to make his ideas come to life. He pushed the boundaries of CNU Tonight's comedy by writing captivating, cinematic digital sketches. Because of him, he blessed the world with the greatest sketch of all time, The Legend of the Newport Master. A story driven by the god of Christopher Newport University, Paul Tribble. I met Tyler during my morph suit escapades while advertising for CNU Tonight at the club fair. Tyler approached our table and chatted with us for a little bit. As we were talking, he started casually pulling off mind-blowing magic tricks. I was mesmerized. From that moment, I could tell that he was a great performer. We invited him to the club's interest meeting, and I am so glad he decided to stick with us. In Tyler's first show, he was given larger roles with multiple fast-paced lines, and executed them without missing a beat. Tyler was a natural. It made me so happy to hear that he had lots of fun after his first show. Him staying with the club allowed us to see his magical mind in action. Also in his first show, he shaved his beard backstage last second before he went on stage for the last sketch, to really sell the character he was playing. He was committed. During quarantine, the club had to get creative with how they'd produce content. Tyler, being as talented as he is, decided he would single-handedly animate one of the sketches I wrote, The Killers. Animation in any capacity is an incredibly difficult and time-consuming task, so doing this was extremely cool of him. We decided that using stick figures would probably be the best fit for this animation, and the end product came out amazingly. Tyler spent so much time drawing and editing the entirety of The Killers, and I am insanely appreciative of him doing this. The sketch itself is one of my favorites for how much work Tyler put into it to make it come to life. Tyler has always been so friendly and easy to get along with. Every time we hung out, I'd always have a smile on my face. Tyler became president of CNU Tonight in 2021, succeeding me. He took the reins in the middle of the pandemic, leading the club into the future. And because Tyler was president of CNU Tonight, I have to challenge him to a game.
A game of tic-tac-toe. Alright, so Tyler, here are the rules for this specific game.
Alright.
For the first turn, you're going to tell me where to put my X. Then after that, we just play as normal.
Alright.
So tell me, where would you want me to put X?
Put it there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Alright, now we play normally.
Oh boy.
Anywhere you like.
Oh. Oh. This is a 4,000 IQ play. But you didn't expect this.
What?
What the? I'm just saying, you never said I couldn't get a tic-tac-toe.
I've lost.
Callie came in clutch for CNU Tonight. She joined our little club back in the early spring semester of 2020 for one show, and it was very nice getting to have her there. I believe she was friends with Christina, who told her about this club. Callie was always super chill. She'd show up to the club meetings ready to relax and have fun with everyone. It was the day of the show, and it was midday during rehearsals. On our February 2020 show, there was a sketch that brought back the infamous black milkshake. The problem was that we didn't have any props to act as the black milkshake. We wanted to do it justice. Callie saw this problem and decided that she would be the solution. She suggested that she drop what she was doing and would drive to Cookout to grab one of the milkshake cups for us. The perfect prop. Callie knew all her lines and roles down to a T, so her going to a Cookout expedition was the perfect opportunity. She was our savior. I know she had a great time during her run at this club, and I'm very happy that we've gotten to know her. We miss you and we love you, Callie. We hope you're doing well. Matt is a treasure. That's why he was treasurer. He was always such a fun and friendly person to be around and get to know. Matt has this really nice smile when you talk to him that makes you smile back. Goldfish. I also love that he laughs at his own jokes and comes up with so many quality and wacky sketch ideas. We would usually be the first ones waiting outside the doors before the club would meet, and we'd just sit and talk. I distinctly remember when I first met Matt. It was about early 2019, and Matt was bundled up in a flannel jacket and a beanie. Rebecca introduced him to me, and she said, "He looks like a rip-off theater thug from Drake and Josh." Matt pretty much responded with, "Hell yeah." I kinda knew from there that he was pretty dang cool. Matt and I would eventually go and get extremely intoxicated at a house party, and then desperately try to figure out how to obtain pizza. He was also a resident assistant at CNU, making it extra funny for him to get absolutely blasted. That's definitely one of my favorite memories with him. What a guy. If I recall, Matt was also in the audience during the first CNU Tonight show I went to, back in September 2018. He joined the club during the same show cycle as me, soon right after. And I was so glad that he did. Every character that he was casted as was always so perfect. He put his whole heart, and hips, into it. When he played Penta Pee-wee Perry, a character who went to hell for having an abnormal amount of penises, Matt stuffed his pants with a bunch of socks to create a gargantuan bulge that intimidated the entire room. He literally leaned into it. Matt was always so comical and committed to his roles. Every time he did his Brooklyn accent, I'd always be dying of laughter. In fact, I literally did die when Matt did his Brooklyn accent. When he played Salt Shaker in Death Cab for Cutie, he shot my character to death and delivered one of the most iconic lines in CNU Tonight history.
I had to. It was my destiny.
Yes, Matt. This is your destiny. CNU Tonight is a Mario Kart character selection screen, and Avery is Funky Kong. Avery is the mascot of this club. There is no better face than his to advertise on a t-shirt. Avery is just a straight-up enjoyable person to be around. His fun jokes, his merry personality, his funky music choice. Hanging out with Avery is a good time. Avery at parties? Avery is the party! When I started going to CNU Tonight meetings back in 2018, I sat behind Avery. He would always have his laptop open and play solitaire. I'd watch him play for the entire meeting whenever we weren't reading a sketch. It was captivating! He also wore this aviary hat that I'll always associate him with. He captures the silliness of the club with his loony sense of humor. His digital sketch, Behind the Scenes, remains a favorite with its meta humor, accurately portraying the club as it was, and even as it is now. I was given some of the best recommendations ever from Avery. He showed me this comic series called My Dad is Dracula, and he thought I would like it. And Avery was spot on. He also recommended for me to watch the show Invincible, which traumatized me in the best way possible. I'd even go on to cosplay Invincible later on, and had lots of fun doing so. All thanks to him. I remember him saying that he aims to be like Jerry Traynor one day, the dude who played Spencer from iCarly. And I can definitely say that Avery is our Spencer. He is our lovable, caring goofball. Avery is a one-man army of fun. Getting to hang out with him is always a blast. Whenever he's live streaming, I always try to tune in, dropping a Dorito in chat to let him know that I'm happy to be there.
Joel asks... Oh, hold on. I know the thing.
Here, I'll see it. What's the strongest Pokemon you think you could take on in a fight? Ooh.
Pidgey. Pidgey's
Dragonite,
a
he's a fucking bitch.
Oh, don't even say that. don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Probably punch Dragonite in the fucking nose and he'd die.
He'd literally just dragon breathe on you.
Natalie is so kind-hearted. She is described to be the cinnamon roll of the club, and I wholeheartedly agree. Around the second club meeting Natalie was in, I was presenting a sketch I wrote a while back ago. The sketch had a character who was constantly yelling, "Why'd you leave me, Natalie?" So, before we read that sketch, I frantically tried to explain to her that I swear I wrote this sketch before I knew you would join us. And I am happy to say that Natalie, in fact, did not leave us. We are very lucky to have her in CNU Tonight. She always plays her roles perfectly. She can take a role that only has a few lines and deliver it so well. She played the innocent love interest in the sketch, Use Your Head, and somehow she made the sketch extra funny just by standing there. Her character's oblivious reaction to the situation happening beside her makes Use Your Head all the much funnier. She also played the character Quackula in the sketch Vampire Weekend, where she literally only quacked like a duck. When I wrote this sketch, I had no idea how well this character would be executed. Natalie got the role and made it iconic. Quackula is the first thing I think about whenever Vampire Weekend comes up. She really fits the bill. It's so great getting to see Natalie be a part of the club for pretty much her entire time at CNU. We're very lucky to have members like her. We still get to talk after all the CNU Tonight shows she's in, and it's so nice getting to catch up with her. She tells me how much she loves the club, and that makes me very, very happy. I'm gracious to have gotten to befriend her. Madmaker.redbubble.com. If Kyle Gunderson isn't here to plug his merch, then I will be the one to do it. Scan this QR code for all of his works. I was the roommate Kyle never asked for. I was friends with Tim, who was his actual roommate. So naturally, I'd always be in Kyle's dorm, and I always found it funny that's the way we got to know each other. Kyle was one of the people with me when we went to watch our first CNU Tonight show. Afterwards, he became a big fan and came to every show during that school year. Kyle would go on to join CNU Tonight the next school year, and we're very happy that he did. He is the definition of passionate. I love seeing the smile on his face and excitement whenever we're doing anything CNU Tonight related. We both saw the club as a sort of home, a community on campus that we can call our favorite place. Kyle's eagerness was a spectacle. Every time I'd be in his dorm, Kyle would always talk about how awesome the club is. And he's right. He would pitch a bunch of ideas, ranging from sketches to merchandise to even advertising. Kyle would go on to be the public relations person of the club, and he was the perfect fit. His hobby in graphic design and his overall personality would lead him to create a lot of quality content for the club. I remember during the day of our combined senior sketch, Kyle spent a good part of the day going around to meet all the newer members of the club. You could see it in his eyes how much he cares for everyone. I love you, Kyle, and thank you for letting me, be a deadbeat in your dorm. Ian is an absolute unit of comedy. Everything he says is always so descriptive and so creative. His lively sense of humor gets me every single time, and I can't help but to laugh whenever he makes a joke. That's why he got the Vivid Convivial Paper Plate Award. He's also gonna need an award for his majestic hair. Look at it! Wait, I can make it myself. The first sketch I saw Ian a part of was The Digital, a heartwarming tale of a serial amputee. His role as the host is one of the main reasons why I wanted to join CNU Tonight. His delivery in The Digital stood out to me and made me want to do what he was doing. During my first show, I was excited that I got to be in a sketch with him. I played a dead person, and Ian played a funny, accented man. For the sketch, he lifted me over his shoulder and carried me from the side of the stage to the center. He gently placed me onto a table where I would play dead for the rest of the sketch. Sounds easy at first, but because Ian is just naturally hilarious, I had to fight myself because I was always on the verge of laughing. Everything I got to do with him was always a blast. I'd always look forward to the days where I got to film alongside him. It made me really happy when I saw that he got casted as Chris in The Digital Death Cab for Cutie. Him playing the silly character on top of the already silly plot made the final product so much better than I could have ever imagined. His delivery in Death Cab for Cutie was, of course, iconic. Whenever I see the words salt shaker, I think about how Ian delivered it.
Wait, I know that guy. That's my friend, Salt Shaker.
But my favorite experience with Ian was when we were filming The Legend of the Newport Master. For like 4 hours, I got to witness Ian go all out in his infamous role, Ace Camaro. This was one of the best nights I ever had in college. I swear the atmosphere was filled with laughing gas during the entire recording session. I love Ian and his vivacious energy. I can't thank him enough for all the good times. What I thought was extra funny about The Legend of the Newport Master is that it's a parody of a so bad it's so good Asian fighting movie. And the two main protagonists of the sketch, Ian and I, were the only Asian people in the club. No one planned for us to be the duo. It just ended up that way. And I think it makes the sketch even funnier knowing that. I am so glad I got to be the Tom Ferrari to his Ace Camaro. And Ian, I have one message for you from one Asian to another. Luckily, only your Filipino ears will be able to hear what I'm about to say.
Alright, so Ian.
Rebecca was one of the few people in the club that understood all my pop punk and emo references. She knew all the songs and the bands that I always named my sketches after. So I always thought it was super funny whenever she called me out on that. Outgoing and very energetic, Rebecca really made CNU Tonight so lively. I am very happy that I get to be friends with her. The characters she played on stage were really fun to watch. I remember being in the audience watching her play the main character in her sketch, Crimes Against Humanity. Her line delivery was so spot on, I swear, Raleigh next to me was trying so hard not to pass out. Rebecca also played the main role of Juliet in the Swipe Right Juliet trilogy. Her performance as Juliet was one of the most perfect castings to have ever happened. The joy I got from watching these talented actors make the trilogy come to life is immeasurable. Rebecca was the former director of the club, and she was the assistant director during my time at CNU Tonight. so we'd always spend a lot of time getting to shoot digitals. Some of my favorite moments while a part of this club were getting to film with her. I would always have so much fun just turning the script in our hands into something we could be proud of. The first major digital sketch I was in that Rebecca directed was How Do You Spot a Blind Guy? Which people joke is a bad sketch. And it's not! Rebecca and I even got called out on it during one of the recent CNU Tonight shows. We looked at each other at that moment, and we both looked attacked. But no matter what people say about the sketch, the memories I got from filming that sketch with her were great. I was still pretty new to the club at the time, so I didn't expect to have so much fun being directed to scoop water from the toilet into a plastic bowl and being told to crash and fall into a table and ragdoll onto the floor. She was also the director behind the 2 digitals I wrote, Death Cab for Cutie and From Bed Bath & Beyond the Cork Tree. I'm glad she was able to make my visions come to life and make the production of them really fun, despite those sketches being fever dreams. Even though we lost that Bed Bath & Beyond footage, the time we spent there was perfect. It was amusing to see her poke fun at her ability to lose footage during the class of 2022's senior sketch. To commemorate the loss of that original Bed Bath & Beyond footage, I journeyed to the site where this tragic incident occurred.
Wouldn't it be funny if I lost this Bed Bath & Beyond footage?
What the f-
I love you, Rebecca. I wouldn't want to lose Bed Bath & Beyond footage with anyone else. Beloved by everyone, Colin is the definition of king. Colin was the former president of CNU Tonight who helped usher in the newest era of the club. I love Colin so much. Getting to see his beautiful face every time there is a show is so nice. Colin's skill set made everything about the club even better. He knew how to act, he knew how to write, and he knew how to make people smile. I know he was an astonishing president when everybody in the club speaks so highly of him. His shining legacy left such a brilliant impact on the club, where his positivity can be seen through everyone who's ever gotten to know him. He deserves all the praise that he can get. I remember early on when I joined the club, I'd watch Colin in awe because he just knew how to play his roles. Colin excelled in playing the wimpy archetype characters, like Little Johnny, who would later become medium-sized Johnny. My absolute favorite role Colin has ever played is of course Romeo, from the Swipe Right Juliet trilogy. Romeo was the high-energy, confident, oblivious lover boy who just wanted to be with Juliet, despite her not being interested whatsoever. Colin's portrayal of Romeo made the series of sketches featuring Romeo and Juliet infinitely funnier than I ever pictured. Colin did a bastardized Shakespearean voice for Romeo, with the exaggerated Renaissance acting to match. I was celebrating when I saw Colin's favorite live sketch was Swipe Right Juliet, and his favorite role was Romeo. He loved it as much as we all did. I remember Colin's first sketch, Use Your Head, was one of the most well-received sketches ever. Both when reading it for the first time and when it was performed during the next show, everyone went crazy over it. The concept of an angel and a devil on the shoulder has never been better, with everyone in the sketch acting their hearts out. The power that this man exudes is immeasurable. Colin spares us with his unlimited capabilities. There's a reason why the most viewed sketch on the CNU Tonight YouTube channel has him shirtless. President Colin, I'm excited to play tic-tac-toe with you.
So, for the first step, you gotta tell me where to put my X, and then we play normally from there.
Alright, I like it.
Alright, where do you want me to put X?
X in the middle.
Alright, and you play normally is normal now.
Kyle Minjoni showed up one day and made his mark. Sippy Cup Boy. Kyle is the cryptid of CNU Tonight, and I love him so much for that. He will appear unannounced to club meetings, and it's always a surprise seeing him. Nobody knows too much about him, but we are always happy whenever he's around. I remember meeting Kyle for the first time at one of the university's club fairs. Me and a few others were in charge of tabling. Kyle came up to us to check out what we were about. There, we were trying to convince him to join CNU Tonight. And during our pitch, someone at our table jokingly said, "If you join CNU Tonight, everyone here will date you." And what do you know? At our next interest meeting, Kyle was there. And I'm glad that he enjoyed our company and decided to stay with us for a while. I remember during one of the show cycles, Kyle was not present for any of the meetings. Then, on the day we were voting for sketches, Kyle was there. He unintentionally got to be a part of the show at the very last second. No matter the role, Kyle was always so enthusiastic about getting to perform. I remember talking to him one time, and I got to tell him that he was casted as a lead role. It was his first show, and he sounded super happy about it. His excitement made me really happy too. There was also another hilarious moment with him. When the CNU Tonight Discord was made, we had a meeting to discuss how we would continue making content. Kyle was there, and he sounded totally on board with the ideas that were pitched. Then, after that meeting, Kyle disappeared again. I think he came back again after some time, but he's like a comet that only comes around every 203 years. Kyle is known for a couple things: color block hoodies, appearing at the right time, and most importantly, his portrayal of Paul Tribble. Him being Paul Tribble felt right. Watching him act when we were filming Legend of the Newport Master was a spectacle. It was everything we ever needed. I am entirely convinced that Kyle is actually Paul Tribble. He disappears without a trace so much that I'm in the belief that he's a secret agent with access to time travel. Kyle will set your world on fire. Sippy Cup Boy. On Reddit, there's a place called Roast Me, where you post a picture of yourself, and everyone there has free reign to insult you based on your looks and how you describe yourself. I thought it'd be fun to go on there to have people characterize me. I've always wanted to post here. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing the creativity and incredibly deep insults that people on here have. Christina, the current director of CNU Tonight. She is a splendid friend, talented actor, and an all-around awesome person. Christina came into the club and was stunning right from the start. She had experience in theater and acting already, so her performances were already top-notch. She was super nice, and I always looked forward to getting to chat with her. We talked for a while before the club meetings would start, and I appreciated how excited she was for everything. She was also a fellow biology major, so we'd talk about our scientifically proven struggle. I believe her first show was in fall of 2019, and she was in the cold opening sketch, House of Wolves. I was re-watching it, and I would have never guessed that she was a completely new member. She really could play any role really well, and make the sketches so much more fun to watch. Pretty much any sketch with her is great. Her delivery is always so funny. My favorite role she played was a character named Layla in the sketch, This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race. She was a bank robber who ended up falling in love with the bank teller. And the way Christina delivered her lines will always be hilarious to me. I can tell that Christina is doing a phenomenal job being the director. Every show that I've gotten to watch has been super fun and goes super smoothly. With the many people in the club now, I could only imagine how chaotic show productions can get. She is killing it. I am super happy that I've gotten to know Christina, and it's so cool watching her be with the club for pretty much her entire time at CNU. I'm super glad to see her as director. I'm looking forward to everything that this club is going to make. Also, as a related side note, one of my favorite albums of all time is called An Airplane Carried Me to Bed by the artist Sky Sailing. The album and the artist is relatively obscure, so I never expect anyone to know anything about it. But one day on Snapchat, I posted a picture of the album, and Christina responded to it, saying that she loved the album too. I was so jubilant that someone else knew about this album. We talked about it for a little, and we found out that we also shared a favorite song off the album. That is definitive proof that Christina is a wondrous person. Thomas, the current president of CNU Tonight. What a fantastic person to know. It's so awesome seeing him take charge of the club and hear about how great he's been from the members. And I can see it whenever I go to their shows. He's definitely one of the chillest people that I've had the chance to befriend. I remember watching him perform on stage when I saw CNU Tonight for the first time. He looked like he was super into the show, which really made me want to join the club. Funny enough, Thomas was in my psychology class during that same fall 2018 semester, and I started to recognize him after the club's first performance. I was a little too shy to approach him in class though, but I'm glad we ended up getting to know each other later on. Thomas's sketch writing was the one that inspired me a whole lot. The wacky, silly, and jokey scenarios were something that I loved. His sketches influenced how I would approach sketch writing, trying to make everything more fun. Hot Topicalypse was a beautiful sketch Thomas wrote, where he casted me as a crazed Hot Topic employee. It was one of my favorite roles to play because he gave me the chance to lean into my unhinged emo tendencies. On top of being a great sketch writer, he's also such a quality actor. He played the snarky character, Ember, in my Romeo and Juliet sketch series, and made the role so much more funnier than I could have imagined. Thomas has so much power in his line delivery. He's very enjoyable to watch. Check out his baller Arthur costume, by the way. Thomas is very caring of everyone who is a part of the club. Whenever somebody new joins, he'll be the first to greet you. He's a supportive and kind friend that does his best to make sure you're doing well. I remember the many times we'd just talk, and I'd always feel so appreciative of him and his genuine personality. Of course, as established, I have to finish this tic-tac-toe saga with him, the current president.
I want you to put your X right there in the middle.
In the middle. Alright.
Okay. Now where do I put my O?
No, you gotta choose wherever you want.
Dang it.
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna put my O here then.
Alright. C.
Okay. Do I want to win it or do I want to make a funny face? Let's just get a cat because that's how tic-tac-toe usually
Funny
works.
cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe wins.
Tim is my best man. I really don't have enough words to describe the friendship I got to have with him over the time we've known each other. I met Tim one day in 2017. Then next thing you know, I would break into his dorm room pretty much every day of his college career and become his unofficial roommate. Tim was always in the audience and supported me during my early days at CNU Tonight. I was super happy he joined in on the fun after the next school year. Tim is just an adorably sweet person who has a way of making people around him happy. His wholesome and easygoing personality makes him really easy to love. I don't know where I would be without him. Tim was such a nice addition to the club. He quickly became friends with everyone and got to be a part of a lot of sketches. He was passionate about the club right from the start. I'm glad we got to experience CNU Tonight together. I remember when Tim wrote sketches, he would ask me to help clean it up a little bit before he'd submit it to the club. But all the sketches he wrote never made it into a show. I felt so sad for him. But on one faithful day, Tim wrote a sketch called The White Claws, a story about system-wide alarms going off when somebody had alcohol on CNU's dry campus. Tim submitted the sketch to be shared for the next meeting. And when we went over the White Claws at the club meeting, everyone loved it. The sketch would be voted into the next show to great success. I was excited for Tim getting his first sketch to make into a show. The funny thing about the White Claws, though, was that it was the only sketch Tim wrote where he didn't ask me for help. So, scientifically speaking, Tim coming to me for help seemingly makes his sketches not make it into shows. I must be cursed. But if I am a curse, Tim is a blessing. I wish I had more time to talk about Tim, but my clocks broke during Daylight Savings Day. So I may not have time, but at least I have Tim. Emma was the vice president at my side when I was president of CNU Tonight. I could not have asked for a better person to be there with me. When I started to regularly attend CNU Tonight meetings, Emma was one of the first friends I made in the club. We bonded over the pop punk and emo music that we listened to. The trifecta of Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance. It was awesome. Whenever I wrote sketches referencing those musical artists, she'd immediately recognize where they were from. Everyone that understood those references would influence me to start naming all my sketches after emo and pop punk songs and bands from thereafter. Emma and I hung out a couple times, and I was telling her that I was torn whether I should stick with CNU Tonight or to join the dance team at CNU that I've really wanted to be a part of. CNU Tonight and this dance team met at the same day and time, so doing both was not an option. But getting to hang out with Emma led me to make the right choice at a crucial moment. There was a sketch that we were a part of, where the character I was playing had a spider on his face. Emma's character wanted to help by slapping the spider off of my face, but her character missed every single time. So, figuratively and literally, Emma slapped some sense into me. She's the one who fully convinced me to stay at CNU Tonight. I can't thank her enough. Her just being a really cool person allowed me to bloom and fully embrace the club. She was also super supportive of all the sketches I wrote. She encouraged me early on, inspiring me to keep on writing. Emma told me that the third sketch I ever made, Sheriff, We're Going Down, was one of her favorites. In the sketch, she played the character Club, in which the whole of it was looking at her. And the fact that she referenced the character and sketch during her part of the 2022 senior sketch nearly brought me to tears. Emma always helped keep the club in focus whenever we were trying to accomplish tasks on hand. She helped me keep the club on track and was an integral part of its growth. She's the reason why our Halloween murder mystery crossover with her club, Lock and Key, got to happen. Because of her, she gave the members in CNU Tonight the unique opportunity to act and portray a spooky story for other people to figure out. Did I mention she's also the mastermind behind the most viewed CNU Tonight sketch on YouTube? Fuck that bitch, this is Russia. Emma is just insanely cool. She does comedy, she dances, she was in a sorority, she's an activist, she ran other organizations with her friends, and at one point I'm pretty sure I saw on Facebook that she's scuba diving certified. Yo! Emma is a multi-talented, cool-as-heck person who strives to be at the top of her game. Best VP ever. One of the funniest people to ever grace this earth. I've noticed that curly-haired people in my life are always naturally hilarious. I'm no doctorologist, but I'm pretty sure curls are extensions of brain wrinkles. I'm gonna draw Raleigh multiple times in MS Paint as B footage because he's fun to make fan art of. Raleigh was the director for the entirety of my time at CNU Tonight. He is a genius behind and in front of a camera. His ability to shoot a scene, edit it, and deliver something that everyone loves is unparalleled. During the production of a show, Raleigh ensured that everyone knew their lines, actions, props, and beats of the sketches. He made our performances fun to be a part of, while being a delightful show to watch. Raleigh puts spirit into everything he does. The digital sketches that were created are classics because Raleigh's beautifully creative mind. The humor, the chaos of these edits and these digitals come from his incredible ability to see something already hilarious and somehow enhance it. Not only did he direct sketches, Raleigh wrote so many quality sketches that we knew we had to use in our shows. His sense of humor is witty, clever, and always so lively. Pretty much every meeting, he would present to us with 1 or 2 sketches that he whipped up in a history-driven fever dream. And we would always have a blast going through them. I especially loved the dichotomy that Raleigh and I had in our sketch styles. I adore how my sketches were usually the cold opener, and his sketches finished off the show with a bang. Not to mention, Raleigh is the reason why I started writing sketches in the first place. His ability to make people laugh made me want to do the same. I really believe if CNU Tonight had their own Mount Rushmore, Raleigh's face should be on there. Director, writer, and friend. Raleigh is a pillar of CNU Tonight. He is one of the most influential people to have been in this club. And I am so lucky to have him in my life. Raleigh's influence is everlasting to me. He's also why this video exists in the first place. A while ago, Raleigh created a fantastic 40-minute video ranking Stanley Cup finals, using both in-depth statistical analysis and the historical narratives leading up to the games. His passion project inspired me to create one of my own, in the form of this appreciation video with everything I've ever wanted to say to the people I love. Raleigh, I love you. These are the people I got to spend a lot of time with during CNU Tonight. I have always wanted to express my deepest gratitudes to these people, but I never knew how to do it. I have old documents, PowerPoints, and writings from a while ago that I never got the chance to fully share with them. I even shouted them out during the Class of 2020 graduation video, but I know I wanted to do so much more. Here though, this felt like the best time to open up my heart and pour out the affection I have for you guys. I love you all. Of course, I can't forget about the older members of CNU Tonight, my friends that graduated before me. Adam, Camille, Jack, Nikita, and Willow. The class of 2019 welcomed me with open arms into the club. They were a fantastic group of friends whose humor really passed down to the members that came after them. Their experience in the club helped shape the generations that followed after, and made CNU Tonight what it is today. I remember watching their senior sketch back in 2019. Their sketch took place on the Titanic 2, Unsinkable Boogaloo. setting sail into the future. Their excitement on this twice as unsinkable ship was great. Until they hit the last remaining iceberg on Earth. Uh-oh. They all try to find ways to escape the sinking ship, but to no avail. They end off their journey with a rendition of My Heart Will Go On, played by Willow on the recorder. My body was filled with so many emotions that night. Seeing them present their final sketch to the crowd, and watching them say their goodbyes to CNU and to CNU Tonight, had me in waterworks. I hope they're all doing well and succeeding in everything they've ever wanted. I'd like to thank every member who's ever been a part of this club. The spirit of the club was created by you, and has been passed on from generation to generation. You are the reason why we stand here today. With the years I got to spend with the club, many more members joined, creating the newest generation of CNU Tonight. To all the members of the newest generation, you're the reason why the club will continue to thrive. I can see all the laughter and friendship between everyone, and it's so wonderful knowing that the future is in your hands. And while I can, I'd like to hear how this generation would describe CNU Tonight.
Alright, so what is the one word you would use to describe CNU Tonight?
I would describe it as harmonious, mainly because everyone sort of just bounces off each other. There's energy and laughing at literally every little tiny thing that's stupid.
Yes.
And I mean, it allows me to sort of just kick back and have a fun time, especially with sketches, like writing sketches and stuff. And everyone seems to support each other, which I can hear there, but yeah, I would say harmonious.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I agree 100% with that one.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So tell me how you would describe CNU Tonight in one word.
I would describe CNU Tonight as nacho. Yes, since in this dictionary, it is described as tortilla chip, topped with a savory mixture and cheese and broiled.
Broiled?
Yeah. So like we're collectively the tortilla chips that are the base of the nacho.
That's amazing.
Because you can't have nachos without the chips.
You can't have the nacho without the chip. You are 100% right on that.
It's like a family, and then the comedy is the cheese melted over.
Cheesy comedy.
Yeah, and it's also broiled.
It's broiled.
Which
broiled is good when it's
broiled is good, and the club is good.
The club is fantastic.
Yeah,
we're super broiled.
And we're super nacho.
We are super nacho. Hell yes. Thank you. All right, Drew, what is the word you would use to describe CNU Tonight?
If I had to choose one word to describe CNU Tonight, it would be guillotine. That's spelled G-U-L-I-L-L-O-T-I-N-E. It's described as a machine used for beheading people. Because when people laugh, they describe their heads as rolling.
That's true.
You know, like people say, well, I'm dead. They say, the classic terminology is LMHO, laugh my head off. And that is CNU Tonight's entire purpose for existing.
That is. We're here to behead royalty specific.
Damn right.
Hell yes. Mm-hmm. The queen died under our club. True. Thank you, Drew.
This and more lore coming up.
Woo!
Okay, the word is embryo.
Embryo?
Yes. Living being in the earliest stages of development.
And that's how you would describe CNU Tonight in one word?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Thank you. So tell me, how would you describe CNU Tonight in one word?
Salacious.
Salacious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how come?
You know, we're all very, very suggestive people here at CNU Tonight. We like to flirt with each other a little bit. We like to flirt with the audience. Yeah, we like to riz the audience, one might say. Sexual harassment. Yeah, so that's my reasoning.
Hell yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So Natalie, describe CNU Tonight in one word.
Well, I guess that would have to be quirky, Joe.
Quirky, yeah, I like it. How come?
Well, this club is just, again, like the word quirky in itself in all the best possible ways.
Sure. I love this club. They are 100% quirky. So good. Thank you so much, Natalie.
You're welcome.
Yes. What's the next
Wait, actually, no, I did not find a word.
Got it.
Bad word.
Tell me, how would you describe CNU Tonight in one word?
I would say CNU Tonight is a light.
Oh. How come?
Apparently that means a very choice or select group. And
yes.
I have found nothing but amazing people and Andrew in this club.
That's a great description.
Thank you, Joel.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. All right, Andrew, describe CNU Tonight in one word.
You know, I had a really hard time finding this word because, one, I didn't think it was in the dictionary, and two, I was just so overwhelmed with the choice of one word for CNU Tonight. But I think I landed on the perfect one. It's smack dab in the middle. Penis. The male organ of copulation. And I don't know what copulation means, but I think, you know, if we're talking about a process of making more things, CNU Tonight makes more things all the time. We copulate like hell, like copulating laughs for sure.
Yes, they do.
So I think that's a pretty great word to describe it.
That is a great word to describe CNU Tonight. Thank you so much, Andrew. Hell yes. So tell me, Cass, how would you describe CNU Tonight in one word?
Let me look through my dictionary. I'd have to say autistic.
Autistic? Tell us why.
Have you seen the people in there?
I have.
Am I wrong?
No.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, thank you. So, describe CNU Tonight to me in one word.
I would say egocentric.
Egocentric, how come?
Everybody loves being the center of attention in these sketches. It's very fun. It's a great environment to be in.
But then it's true, and everybody is very fun. They're super fun.
Yeah.
And I love getting to see them have the spotlight.
Yeah.
So, perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course. Like so loud.
The word I'm going for is profound, marked by intellectual depth or insight, and deeply felt. Because, you know, really, jokes that are made just about, you know, dicks and cum and asses really show profound depth and insights. That's what CNU Tonight is all about.
Thank you. So how would you describe CNU Tonight in one word?
Harebrained. It means foolish. Obviously we make a lot of jokes, have a lot of fun. But also, like, I think that also speaks to the group dynamic as a whole, because we're all like able to be ourselves and able to laugh with each other and have a lot of fun.
That is very sweet, very kind. I super agree with harebrained. That's actually a really cool word. Perfect word. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's the word you have to describe CNU Tonight?
Enthusiastic.
I like it. I agree.
Yeah. I've never encountered anyone in this club that wasn't so stoked.
Yeah, every member is just, I love them.
Me
So
too.
lovely.
I love all of them.
Yeah, I'm so glad I was able to sit in for a sketch. I was like, rushing back to me. I love this place.
Me too. I'm really gonna miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, at least you have your one show left.
It's true.
It is.
I do.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So, President Thomas, describe CNU Tonight to me in one word.
Pile.
Pile, how come?
There's a lot of us.
That's true, and they're very cool.
Life. It's a beautiful piece of chaos. I never thought I would be in the position that I am now. CNU Tonight found me. CNU Tonight found this passion that I never knew I had. Without the club's existence, I have no idea how the chaos of life would have brought all of us together, if at all. We are here because CNU Tonight exists. Cut to black. A few integral questions still stand. Who founded CNU Tonight? Who is responsible for creating a home of laughter for CNU students for generations to come? Who is the reason why we all had the chance to know each other? Well, I found them. At the beginning of this project, my end goal when documenting the history of CNU Tonight was to track down its founder. Molly, during our interview, provided me with incredibly valuable insight about the founding members she knew about. My first lead, Eric Gamby Gambardella, a CNU graduate and regular audience member of early 2000 CNU Tonight, responded back to the email I sent him asking about CNU Tonight's history as well. Putting Molly's and Gamby's information together led me to where I wanted to be. Gamby pointed me to someone he thought could help further this project. Someone who presently works at CNU. Dr. Jonathan Backens, an assistant professor at CNU in the Department of Physics, Computer Science, and Engineering. Funnily enough, Dr. Jonathan Backens works in the same building and same floor where the club meets. His office is nearby CNU Tonight's very own, Looter 242. In my email, I asked him if he had any information about CNU Tonight. I had a good feeling about this. I was surprised that I was coming this close to an answer. He responded to my email. And he was elated to hear about CNU Tonight again. He told me that he was a member of the club during its infancy, from around 2000 to 2003. And he had a fantastic time during the seasons he was there. In his email, Dr. Jonathan Backens presented to me the Holy Grail. He gave me the names of the earliest cast members who were a part of the club, including the original founders. All the information he gave me was the same as what Molly recalled as well. Even more, Dr. Jonathan Backens provided me with potential points of contact to the original founders, so that I could meet our makers. I'd like for you to meet them too. Dr. Matthew Backens, Jonathan Scott, Jesse Gray, Joshua Mailer. I couldn't believe it. We finally have the names and faces of the individuals who started this marvelous organization. The goal of uncovering the founders was completed. But every end has a beginning. And I wanted to know about the founding of CNU Tonight. I reached out to who I could. We have their identity. Now I just want to have their words. I sent out my message and waited. Joshua Mailer, the creator of CNU Tonight, responded. The story of CNU Tonight's beginnings. Initially, I wanted to read the entirety of his message here. There were so many people and crazy events that came together to make CNU Tonight the home it is today. I want to share the names of the members mentioned in Josh's account, the progenitors of this magnificent organization. And I urge you to follow this QR code to read the full story of CNU Tonight's fantastic founding. But for now, I believe these few words are all I need to share. They are the foundations of CNU Tonight. I was filled with unfathomable bliss. The people who provided me and so many others a haven of laughter were the architects of CNU Tonight were the founders who gave us this part of life were one word to describe my little adventure within CNU Tonight. I lost my dictionary. You've lost your dictionary. Oh, hello! You must be me. Not quite. I am your words. Yeah, the words I can't say anymore because I can't find my dictionary. At least we can still speak in subtitles. Why is my font different from yours? Our fragmented identities run deep with differences. Well, words, I kind of need you back to finish what I was doing. I need you too. Sweet, so we can fix ourselves together and get back. I need you to suffer in your silence. Sounds more like a want than a need. I want no part in this. You lost the dictionary. Yeah, well, you lost me. I just want to speak again. Go find the dictionary then. I have too many words left that I need to say. I want you to taste me like blood in your mouth.
No sleep for the sick, been staying up too late, draining out the chemicals, trying not to make mistakes. Little do they know that any given day I'll expose all their hypocrisies and let out my rage. Oh, tell me this, if you can say it to the public, why can't you say that shit to your kids? Don't act like money's not the factor. You're an actor, and it would blow everybody's mind if they could see just what lies behind the velvet curtain beyond this door. They've got no choice. They've got no choice. I can't catch my breath. Been working to the bone, dotting all the I's and crossing every T I own. This ain't pulling thread. cash machine. They'll rue the day the hound came to their door. The real crooks ain't wearing ski masks. No, they're walking around in suits. They feed us lies in American wrapping. They're just acting, and it would blow everybody's mind if they could see just what lies behind the velvet curtain, the office door. They've got no choice. Hey! All right, pick it up, boys. And it would blow everybody's mind if they could see, yeah, just what lies behind the velvet curtain, the office door. I'll give them no choice. I've got my
Maybe the real dictionary was the friends we made along the way. Sounds like you didn't find it. You got that right. But it looks like you did. Oh! I'm still gonna speak in subtitles, though. Thank you for this. Thank you. Go home. Now. If there is something I can say about my adoration for CNU Tonight and my missing dictionary, it's that I'm at a loss for words.